Okay, being 7:03, I'm gonna bring the Dunbarton Board of Selectmen meeting to order for December 4th, 7 PM. And all three selectmen are present, our town administrator is present, fire chief's present, police chief is present, and transfer station manager is present. Okay, I've got some old business, gentlemen, some previous meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular minutes of November 20th as amended.
I'll second those.
Motion been made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You were not present for those? On November
Oh, I
20th?
wasn't on those?
So.
Okay, I'll abstain.
So I'll make the motion. And
You can still make the motion to approve it,
Yeah.
but I think he's just gonna abstain from the
I'll
vote.
abstain from the vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any more discussion, Mike?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay.
I forgot to add a non-public on there, so nothing.
Okay, I'll let you
We
do
didn't have
that
a
one.
November, did you have a November
No,
20th
the
non-public?
No, not the 20th, no,
Oh,
just.
and we don't have the minutes from the workshop.
Correct.
Yeah.
She just notified me today that they're not.
Okay.
I have this,
Those are non-public minutes from that workshop day.
That's just last week, right?
non-public session.
You wanna wait until we get them all the minutes together? Dave, I'd rather you wait to get them all together for that day.
Probably.
And
public
this one as
and-
well?
Yeah, that's the one you said you want to see them.
Okay, and here's the other one from that day. You wanna wait and do them all at once?
Yeah, the board,
Have you done that in the past?
Yep, we have
Were you
different,
just waiting,
no,
pull
yes.
them, or you just?
Yeah,
you
well,
approve
they're
them separately?
done.
These are ready, we may as well do
I think
this
they're
too.
ready if you're,
Yeah,
I mean,
That's fine.
yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the
Yeah, what was the date of that?
non-public from November 25th and 3:41 PM. And this was the non-public with the town administrator.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor of this
Let
motion?
me just glance at that one. just
This
to
is
make
the
sure.
one I had to leave on, Dana, so I'll let you
Oh.
two. You guys made the
Here's the
final
hiring
decision
action.
on the hiring action.
Oh, okay.
You didn't read it?
You and
I
Mike
guess I
made-
didn't read that one.
You and Mike made the decision on the second page.
Yep, yep. Okay, I see the results of that.
Okay,
Yeah, I have no,
so the motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All right, I'm gonna abstain because I wasn't here for that final vote on there, but I agree with what they did.
Yeah.
Here you go, Mike.
Thank you.
I wanna start our pile over there, Dana.
Yeah.
And the next one, I'll make a motion to approve the, workshop meeting minutes held on Tuesday, November 25th. This is again a non-public session, and I wanna vote to seal these meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Lean, just, I guess a point of order.
Oh.
Does she purposely not put
The other-
me down because she knows I'm not present?
I actually would have done that, and because you weren't there, I didn't.
You just don't even leave a blank line or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't really care, I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, okay, I'll find out if.
Order-wise, if that's what they normally would do for
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
The other ones are.
And you haven't,
Okay.
Thanks. Just for regular minutes?
yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess she does that. She does them.
Okay.
That's the way she does it,
And
yeah.
so she wouldn't put the person that's not here.
Correct.
Note of order, the road agent just entered the meeting room as well.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna open up, if somebody's not on the agenda, open up for public comment at this time. Seeing none, we'll go on to the regular meeting. I'll make a motion per RSA 31:95-B to accept unanticipated money for $3,000 from Stash and Alita Zopez to pay for new computer workstation for the 6th police officer. Chief, you want to get up for that and talk about it? Lean, did you get the check?
Nope, yeah, he has it in his hand.
Okay, great.
You want me to come up front?
Sure.
Or just- Sure.
You're not sick anymore?
I am not.
All right.
Took a couple weeks, but the Zopas generously reached out and wanted to make a donation to the PD. They had seen a post about the grant we got from the crime line, about $3,000 grant for some rifle-rated body armor, and they wanted to match that in terms of a donation. So spoke with Stosh, and we're going to use it to, if the board accepts and allows me, buy a workstation, so desktop computer and all the stuff that goes with it for the new full-time police officer position. And then whatever's left over, probably get some new computer chairs for the police station, because the ones that we have are pretty old. So that'll definitely allow us to get the workstation and
And
keep
you already made a
moving forward.
workspace for it, right, I think?
We have a desk already, but depending on what's left over, I might look at getting something a little bit bigger, because we have room now in the patrol room to work with, which is nice.
So would you be acquiring the workstation independently or through the IT company, which I would assume the IT company would normally provide?
Well, they do, but they also
A standard
will tack
workstation?
on a work order fee.
Yeah?
And we have a government discount with Dell, which is the line that we have. So sometimes it's easier to purchase it and then pay them to just do the setup.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
So there's some savings.
Is that
there.
what we've done, is we actually do the purchase, they don't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it could go both ways.
Yeah, we've generally gone strictly through our IT company because of all the network security and
Yeah.
criminal justice compliance.
I
stuff.
get all the installation piece, I'm
Yeah.
talking about
The actual
the
machine.
physical machine, the
Physical
hardware
machine.
and all of that.
Yep, we go through our IT company.
Oh,
We've done Dell before, we've also gone through our IT company.
okay.
Yeah,
Your plan would be to go through the IT
IT
company?
company.
Okay.
Any further questions?
No, it's just that they can have their own margin. I don't know if you're
Mm-hmm. Yep.
considering that, where you can maybe get more bang for your buck if you,
That's what
Didn't
I've
go
done,
through
is
them?
ordered it and shipped it right to the IT person.
I'm just thinking about your using excess for chairs or
Yeah,
other things,
yep.
you might get more excess if.
yeah. I can check some numbers, they give us a pretty decent deal, but I can
Do they?
definitely
Okay.
check some numbers, yeah.
Okay,
It seems reasonable to me for sure, but
okay,
I
all
can
right.
take a look.
Okay, so I made the motion to accept that unanticipated funds.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion been made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I want to say thank you on behalf of the Board of Selectmen for all your donations currently and in the past. It's been
Aye.
well noted.
I did all that, thank you, Stas,
Yeah.
and please say thank you to Alita too.
I
Thank
do
you.
wanna point out that this revenue will not be included in the general fund revenue, it will be put into a liability account. We'll start a spreadsheet and we'll track it, the expenses that way. So it goes in the bank, but we don't include it in our total revenue, it's under anticipated.
Okay.
So, you'll see a few, the expenses for this money come through and it will be posted to an account that doesn't hit the general fund budget.
This is the last
Okay.
meeting minutes to sign.
Okay.
Thank you for the board's support with that.
Thank you very much. You have anything else, or you're on the schedule later on? Okay. Thanks again. All right, the next thing up on our agenda is to review the bids and proposals for C&D disposals
Seal it, yeah.
for 2026, 2027, and 2028. This goes with that in the pile. It looks like these are the current bids we have here.
For the public's information, C&D stands for,
Construction and demolition debris.
thank you. Even for my benefit. But the public's first.
Does it look like we have two bids? Here, I'll let you open up one.
Okay.
We sent out a bid proposal to get this updated just a few weeks ago. Do you have our current amounts for that, Lean?
Isn't that, right there, that's
And
the
this
old
one?
stuff.
Okay.
I gave that for your reference. Oh, I'll write one up there. Okay, yeah. So, just mail it to you? Or I'll give it to the-
I have a three numbers for price per ton for each year.
Okay. Woody, who are we with now?
Norton and Son, out of Bradford.
Oh, they're not even on this one here.
The minutes are there, Dave, I included the motion of the minutes.
Okay.
So you might want to refer to what we did before.
Oh, okay, there's one more page to the meeting minutes here, I think. Bow Recycling Waste Norton, okay. Norton, okay, go ahead, guys. Which one do you have, what company name?
I have, the
Mike?
company is out of Bow, it is Stan and Pete Incorporated, Bow Recycling Center.
Okay, and what did they give you for amounts?
They have three prices, one price per year, 2026 of $167 per ton, 2027 at $174 per ton, and 2028 $181 per ton.
Say those one more time there.
I say again,
Yep.
it's per ton, for C and D, 2026 calendar year, 167 per ton, 2027, 174 per ton, and 2028, 181 per ton.
181?
Is there any mention whether that, there's a note on here about the $3.50 per ton, $3.50 New Hampshire state tax that I believe we get back?
There is no,
That comes back from the state
Yeah,
though.
is there anything about whether those costs
a pass to us? No.
include, okay. Okay, so, the Norton Recycling Center out of Bradford, New Hampshire has a price of $140 per ton for 2026. 2027 is $150, and 2028, $160.
And who is that?
That is Norton Recycling Center.
Okay, just so you know, what we approved,
NAUGHTON.
the 2025 bid, well, the last bid we had with Norton was 130, 130, and 150, so they're actually going down in the
For
first year.
2026, okay,
Yeah.
130, 130, 150.
Yeah. Just to remind you guys what we did last time.
So this one is
Put it
significantly
in the
higher.
envelope.
So this is, looks like 20% higher, at least in the first year.
Yeah.
But that one has a clause for the hauling fee?
This, no, this one, well, it does say, there would be extra $3.50 per ton, for New Hampshire state tax. So it just mentions that it's not built into those prices already, which sounds like it's not built into those either,
Correct. They did not address it here at all.
yeah.
But even if it, let's assume they did, it's, you can add that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanna make sure that it wouldn't be less on that one,
Correct.
cause this one specifically says it's not included. The
But
tax
if
is
if
not
you added
included
it
in
to
this
what you
price.
have, you can see where the prices fall out, even
Yeah.
if you added to that.
Yeah, yeah,
And actually, the bid from last year, 130, they held 130 again this year. I don't know why, but they did.
Oh, wow.
oh, really,
So,
they,
At the
oh,
beginning of this year, it's been 130 right across the board.
They're not, your experience
so
with
they're
them has been-
probably thinking that it went, they're raising it by 10.
I mean, they have the same
Yeah.
paperwork as we do, so.
Are you happy with them?
I've done business with both places, happy with both places.
Good, thank you. That's what I needed to know too.
Okay, I think,
It's just a-
you have the one that I would think we'd follow with, so why don't you make a motion if you want? You comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, approve the bid from Norton Recycling Center out of Bradford, New Hampshire, for construction demolition debris for the price of $140 a ton in 2026, $150 per ton in 2027, and $160 per ton in 2028. Motion's been made.
I'll second the motion. Did we worry anything about hauling, or you worked that out on a separate deal with them anyway if we require their hauling?
Nope.
We haven't
Do
used them.
anything at home. Nope.
We've been doing it ourselves.
We've been doing it ourselves, and
It's
Jeff's
working
been,
out.
when I'm away, Jeff's let Pete do it, so.
Okay. That seems to be working, we have good control of it, so. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is it okay, you wanna flip that over? Okay, Chris Remillard, you're first up on the chopping block tonight to show us your budget.
Should we just say denied?
I thought chopping block took care of that.
Well, you want the good news.
Yes,
I'm not asking for a car or a 7th full-time officer.
good.
Yeah. So, I don't know if the board's had a chance to take a look at it. I'll kinda,
I did review it. and-
Yeah, I didn't get a chance.
okay. I'll summarize, the increases and then go through each budget line generally, and certainly if there are any questions that come up as we go, please let me know. So, there's obviously a cost increase. One of the largest driving factors is the 6 full-time officer for the full calendar year, which we knew was coming, approved in the budget by the voters. I also increased overtime, which I'll get into a little bit later, but 5 of our personnel budget lines, which covers 10 positions, 6 full-time and 4 part-time, including 2 part-time officers and then our office administrator. That had a net increase of $141,001, and that's made up of quite a few different things in there. The COLA, a slight proposed increase to Sergeant Tyler's OIC stipend. We have several step increases in there. Myself and the sergeant are moving to step 3 in our respective positions. The wage adjustments from earlier this year. A few of the proposed stipends and degree incentive that I brought up at the P-Plan workshop, just as placeholders. I know they haven't been approved or adopted or whatever at this point, but I wanted to make sure it was in there just in case. I added in 12 prorated paid holidays for the office administrator. We hadn't budgeted for that before, but it sounds like that might be something I can remove with respect to the prorated paid time off accumulation if that's adopted. Continued funding of part-time hours consistent with this year. As the board knows, we kept on Officer Philbrook to work generally 30 hours a month, so that would provide funding for that. And then, of course, the 6 full-time officer positions. So, contractual and non-discretionary budget lines, and I'm on page 1, which is kind of the nitty-gritty breakdown. Net increase of 1,942, and that includes prosecution dispatch, our scheduling software, and telephone lines and services, which we have little to no control over the cost of that. But I was pretty happy to see that contractually we came in relatively level funded. 5 other budget lines had a net increase of 12,200. We need to account for our training ammunition that we need each year for our handguns and rifles, so we did that and factored in some advanced firearms training for our officers. Bumped up supply a little bit for bottled water purchases. We don't have potable water at the police station, so I've been having to buy bottled water.
Where's your water source now?
The only water source we have in the PD is in the bathroom.
No, but from where?
It's from the whatever the well
Down the
that's
well.
ripe with arsenic. Yeah.
Down low.
The FD does have the
First house
the
was
filter.
this.
Do you have an RO system?
Reverse, yeah. Vehicle maintenance, Sergeant Tyler puts together that every single year. I'll dive into that a little bit later. And then replacement body armor for 2 full-time officers, something we need to do every 5 years per the manufacturer warranty. The good part with the body armor is we do get reimbursed for half the cost through a grant program with the Department of Justice. And then a replacement network access storage system, which is essentially a on-site digital storage system for our case files. It's a pretty old system at this point, and there's potential security vulnerabilities with the system we have, so I got a quote to replace that. Moving on to page 2. 6 budget lines were made level funded. I kept gasoline, department equipment, fees and services, radio repair, network hosting, and body cameras the same. The only caveat with network hosting is they have not yet gotten back to me with 2026's numbers, but based on past history with this company, I don't anticipate any increases. And then
What is network hosted right now?
so we have an on-site server, and then we have remote backups through Certified Computer Solutions up
Okay.
in Tilton. They do a lot of different police departments
Okay.
throughout the state.
You don't have, there's no hosted software, like a platform that you're paying subscription fees for and that, like,
And that specifically, no.
okay.
No, that's all separate.
This
We
is
have-
network hosting for server redundancy.
Correct.
Okay.
And our, I believe our Microsoft Office licenses fall under that as well. But those are generally just a one-time purchase when we get the computer,
Okay.
is my understanding.
Most Microsoft's gone to recurring costs these days.
That's what we
I would
currently
suspect
pay.
you might also be, but I don't know that.
I could look into that.
Yeah.
I know when they quoted the most recent computer, I got the impression it was a one-time cost, but I could be wrong.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
And then we had a slight budget line decrease in our records management software. We essentially removed a feature that we didn't need. So, like I said, the total personnel cost increase, 141,001, 73,169 of that is for the new position for the full year. I did ask for an increase in overtime of 25,000. Crime control holiday pay, that went up. Most of that is attributed to the new position. Part-time office administrator, 3478, but again, I think I can move that back a little bit because of the prorated paid holidays. And then part-time crime control, 5,589. And if the board remembers, there was a transfer of 5,000 from full-time crime control to part-time crime control earlier this year because we were keeping on Officer Philbrook. So that money will essentially be staying in full-time crime control, and then a slight increase to account for his consistent working of the 30 hours a month.
Is he gonna continue that?
Yes, yep, that's the plan as of right now, which has been a tremendous help.
So you'll end up with 2 part-timers?
Yeah, so right now, Officer Miliotto's not working any patrol shifts, but Officer Philbrook is. And then I don't anticipate Officer Sloot will be on our roster as of Jan 1. So as far as budgeting, I just plan on 2 part-time officers.
Has Officer Miliotto projected his retirement?
I know he wants to be the longest serving officer in the history of the town, which would be next year.
Okay.
But he has not definitively stated a retirement date.
Okay.
Moving on to page 3. I did a detailed breakdown in full-time crime control of each position, what comes with it. With respect to Sergeant Tyler, the OIC stipend right now is $2,800 a year. He gets paid $1,400 in June and $1,400 in December. Proposing a slight increase of $200 to bring that up to $3,000. It's really a fantastic benefit for the town because it allows our officers access to a supervisor at all times, even when there's not one on duty. And then when you're assigned as the officer in charge for 2 weeks at a time, he and I rotate it currently. You're essentially on call 24/7. If something big happens in town, you're expected to respond out and be there. You'll see.
I know you talked about this before. How does that compare to other communities?
So, doing a little bit of light research, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, just our neighbors to the south, they pay, I believe it's $460 a week to their on-call employees. So if you break that up throughout half the year, because OICs take 26 weeks each, that would be about $10,000 to $12,000. So we're getting an absolute steal for that service. Like I said, I did put the placeholder stipends in there just to have. I can certainly remove those depending on what the board decides. You'll see Cody and Scott, their breakdown with respect to their wages. On page 4, Officer Nesbitt, his breakdown, and then for the 6 full-time officer. I wanted to keep a placeholder of step 2 police officer just in case we find someone with experience. I didn't want to shortchange that line too much. If we find an officer with more experience, we might have to defer their start date a little bit, commensurate with what step we bring them in at, but I felt step 2 was a comfortable place to be.
Step 1 still not on the table too?
Oh, absolutely, we could certainly bring someone in brand new and that would be significantly cheaper.
Less expensive, yep.
So again, you'll see a full, I won't read this verbatim to the board, but you'll see a breakdown of everything that I'm proposing, the reason for the cost increases. But I did want to take the time just to briefly explain to the board that even though we're having a substantial increase in that budget line, there was a good amount of savings in terms of benefits on the town side this year. Because when Officer Philbrook resigned in January, his position was open for approximately 8 months until Officer Nesbitt was hired back in September. So that's 8 months of health insurance that wasn't being paid and New Hampshire retirement. Officer Nesbitt took the opt-out stipend, so lessening that from what would have been being paid for Officer Philbrook. If you see on page 5, I did a breakdown in the footnotes on page 4 and 5, but essentially on the town benefits side, there should be approximately $46,500 of a surplus from benefits. And I know typically the board applies surplus to the bottom line increase for the following year. So I just wanted to point that out, that there is some money coming back to the town on the benefits side. That's also attributed to the 6 full-time position that was funded starting in August. We haven't filled that yet. We are actively recruiting. But again, that's 4 months of health insurance at Family Plan A because we had to plan based on that, and then New Hampshire retirement. So,
Officer Philbrook is definitely going to stay with us, so.
to the best of my understanding, yep, yep. Moving on to full-time crime control, overtime. Basically, long story short, that line has always been underfunded, in my opinion, and I'm to blame for that since I took over. We've kind of gotten by with respect to when we're short-staffed and we're paying out overtime, it levels out because we have an open position, but it's always been kind of a moving target throughout the year based on current staffing levels and activity, which is something that we can project to an extent, but if we have a year where we're having a lot of felony investigations like we've had this year, there's a lot of overtime that comes along with that for working the cases, appearing in court and things of that nature.
So if we have a safe year and no crime, you can return that money to the town?
Some of it.
My thought is we have more officers now because we hadn't filled those positions, and I was thinking the overtime would go down and not up, and doubling it in 1 year is a. I did read through this pretty thoroughly though and looked at your chart, and we've always been lagging behind budgeted and expended.
Right, right.
But I know that in the past years, just these recent few, we've done it because we've had officers leave or retire and go to different departments and whatnot. So your current officers were working more overtime to facilitate not having a full group of officers. We're closer than we've ever been now to having a full staff of officers, having just one full-timer left
Correct.
to be hired. So my thought was it should be going down, not doubling, but.
So, if I can speak to that briefly, quite frankly, it probably should have been 50,000 5 years ago. We've just never kept pace with where it should have been based on our usage. The difficult thing is court appearances. That's a moving target. That's really hard to predict. Paid time off. If we don't have a part-time officer that can fill that shift, it's going to have to be filled by overtime. So I'm definitely cognizant of the fact that that is doubling the overtime, but I think once the 6th position is filled, it'll definitely stabilize our overtime costs. But I think the 50,000 figure is kind of in the ballpark of what we would need without significantly overspending it year after year.
So this actual right now for 2025, looks like it's at about 51,
Correct.
and that's year-to-date.
That's
as
correct,
of-
as of today.
I just updated.
And so the only reason that you're able to budget for it now or have money to spend for it is because you're not staffed.
That's right.
So if you were staffed, your overtime line would be like zeroing out.
It would certainly stabilize, because overtime covers a lot of different things, holiday hours work, court, emergency call-ins, there's just so many variables that are really hard to predict.
Okay.
Yeah, where you don't normally think of it covering holiday hours on a normal schedule,
Right,
you know, but on your schedule it does because they're getting paid.
that's right, because, yeah, I mean,
You know, so when you're looking at other departments, it doesn't really, it almost should be broken out. Holiday coverage versus overtime, because even though it is considered overtime, still it's like it's almost another line item to me, because
As opposed to like an extended day.
it
like
only
if there's a
affects his
call
department, really.
right.
On the holiday.
Yes.
piece, yeah.
The holiday hours worked have always fallen under the umbrella of overtime, because it's paid at the officer's time and a half rate.
Right.
2/3 of it is in the full-time salary line, because if they're scheduled, say, for a 12-hour shift on a holiday, 8 hours of that is paid out of full-time crime control, and then the 4 is paid out of overtime. What we've been doing is charging holiday hours work strictly to overtime, so there's always gonna be a little bit of an offset with the full-time salary line and overtime, but it all comes out as a wash at the end of the year.
It
Can
might
you
be,
quantify that for the holidays, or is it not something you can do because of the way you pay them, like you just talked about?
I can quantify in the sense that generally, you know, we have anywhere between usually 16 and 20 hours of coverage on a holiday, on every single holiday.
So I'm just wondering, is it $10,000 or $15,000 worth of?
I would have to run some numbers on that.
Just so I knew
Yeah.
clear in my head how much.
Which you can't avoid that. So
Right.
You're gonna be
I know we
stuck.
can't avoid
So
that
what he's
portion.
trying to get at is that's the
That's a fixed-
the
that's a
minimum
that's a fixed
overtime
cost.
cost you're gonna
Exactly,
have,
yeah.
even if there's no real overtime.
Right, right.
But your other overtimes, like you say, for court appearances, or don't you have like even if there's a call at the end of a shift
Yeah.
and it
Yeah, if
goes
someone
beyond.
gets held over, there's a
Right.
call.
it might be interesting to track those as we enter the new year.
Yeah.
We do have a scheduling software. I can see if it can break that down, but I can certainly
I could
get
just
a number.
foresee us getting that question at town meeting,
Sure.
and having that number would probably help us, because we're doubling the overtime budget, yet we're having a
Yeah, so
fuller
if you
staff.
knew, if we knew what your floor was.
Sure.
Like it's never gonna go below this.
Right.
Because of the holidays.
Right.
That,
I can certainly
that
prepare
actually
number.
helps a justification on this.
Sure.
Yeah, a floor would be very helpful.
Yeah. Like you can't ever go below this.
Right, and
I
that's a start, that's where we start.
Yeah.
When you're doubling a line item like that, I think
course.
that's where we're gonna get hit. When you read through the rest of your budget, there's not, other than those small stipend
if-
amounts of
let's say the floor-
500,
Let's say,
there's really no changes other than the COLA and the regular things that are feed, so somebody's gonna point this out.
Oh,
for
of
sure.
course. I had a feeling this was definitely going to raise some eyebrows, and I'm trying to be cognizant of the fact that it is a big jump. But at the same time, like I said, I'll
And
follow
maybe
my-
we don't get there all in one year either, maybe we,
Absolutely. I'm
maybe we
certainly
get a
willing to
portion of the way
compromise,
there, and
yeah.
next year we
but
get
you know,
another portion.
if it comes out the floor is like 30, it's like, where have you been getting this money? If you only get 25, where have you been getting an extra
Well,
5,000?
he's
You
had
gotta-
short staff, so he's
Exactly,
had
you've
plenty
been
of
short
money.
staffing,
And
that's
that's-
where you've been,
Yeah.
just putting in a different pile.
Right.
And again, we don't have a 6 officer hired yet, so
Right.
at a full line budget, there's gonna be money sitting there as well. Again, next year, so. Maybe we fund 2/3 of it or something like that, but it's something to consider.
Well, I think the floor would be the start,
Yeah,
to see where we are.
I'll certainly put that number together for the
Okay.
board. Absolutely. And thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate it.
yeah, just, I think we're gonna get asked that question for sure on the floor, and
Sure.
I wanna make sure we have good answers if we're gonna go that
Absolutely.
route.
But when you got a 100% increase, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Holiday pay. Each officer is paid 12 paid holidays at 8 hours a pop. The substantial increase there. The 4840 is for the 6 full-time officer. Again, there might be some money left over in that.
And we added that holiday too,
That's right.
June 13th,
That's right.
so,
Was that first done in 2025?
yeah, I think it was, so.
Okay.
That kinda added to that whole,
Hmm.
cause he wouldn't have budgeted for it until we added it.
But again, there'll probably be some money left over there because unless we hire someone tomorrow, there's probably gonna be some holidays, January, February, that aren't gonna be worked. But again, I'm very cautious of shortchanging it because if we bring someone in like Scott Abadigian that
Yeah.
has 12 years experience, we're gonna need that money.
You have to budget for it.
Right. Part-time crime control. I tried to break it down in terms of general hours. So Officer Philbrook, the board probably remembers we established a part-time officer, full-time certified rate to distinguish between a part-time officer that is part-time certified and a part-time officer that's full-time certified. Two different levels of training and certification. So Officer Philbrook stayed on, as the board knows, with the caveat that he will generally work 30 hours a month to help us out. As far as I know, that he's still planning on doing that. So I budgeted for that, 30 hours a month. That covers patrol coverage and any state mandated training hours that he could generally do during his shift.
So the total is for the year?
11,617 for him, and that gives us 30 hours a month of
The whole year for
coverage.
them?
Correct. Yep. And then Officer Miliotto, I scheduled him for about 100 hours sporadic use. That would include community events, the polls, coffee with a cop, training.
We do have 3,
So there's 36, 40,
right?
45 hours right there alone, just from the polls.
Is the former chief still on the books?
As of right now, but I don't anticipate that as of
You haven't
January.
budgeted anything for him.
No, I have not.
Is it a cost to the town to keep him on the rolls, for training or whatever?
Uh,
Why would we want to train an officer, keep him certified if he's not gonna provide services?
Right.
And so I think as a manager, you gotta look at that and say, if it does cost the town, maybe cut the umbilical cord and say, have a nice day.
Yeah, and I can talk to the board in non-public further
Okay.
about that if the board desires.
Well, if there is a savings that could be had to the town, because
You didn't
certifications.
budget anything for
There's
them?
nothing in here for that particular officer at all.
Okay, but there is a training component that you pay for, the ammunition,
Right. The ammunition figure doesn't factor in.
Okay, I'm just using that
I
as
see
one.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
In other words, why do we have to keep a certified officer on board and we get 0 hours out of him? Just,
So you're just highlighting if there's a fixed cost for having someone even just on staff.
right.
Right.
What do we have?
If there is,
Then we should look at
then you might
that.
wanna consider it. If there's no cost,
It's a
doesn't
no-brainer.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
And I don't have, the only cost would be training hours, and I don't have those budgeted.
Okay.
In 2026. The office administrator, she's gonna be moving up to the top step, which is step 6, based on her years of service. If the board goes over to page 8 at the very top, I factored in the prorated paid holidays for her, but it's my understanding that might be moot, so I can potentially lower that line by the 1345.
Why is
Well,
that?
no,
So-
I want to explain that, it's, the way we're looking at the paid holidays, right now, a part-timer who works, a regular part-timer, gets like 4 hours pay. And the way it's being configured, that will go away, and this new program will be initiated. Basically, it's a zero, no cost increase.
No, you're gonna have the same amount.
It's gonna be same cost.
But they're accruing them just before they have them, so you're accruing them, and so those are not gonna go away for them, part-time.
Okay, so the 1345 would stay?
Stay, yes.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
yeah, there's probably a misunderstanding there. So essentially, instead of having holiday pay, we're gonna in lieu of holiday pay for part-timers, we'll compensate in terms of PTO,
Got it.
paid time off. And then they can use it whenever they choose. Doesn't
Fair.
have to be paid on a holiday or anything like that.
Understood.
But
Okay.
it's a dollar equivalent.
And it's a wash.
It's a wash.
Yeah,
Ex-
it just gives
except for one change,
the
right?
employee gets the employee a little more flexibility, but when they wanna use it.
Sure.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
While we're on that subject, Woody, I did tell them that your employees may have trouble understanding that, because we've tried some other programs with them before.
Yeah, I didn't know much about it, so.
But we're gonna-
I know what Mike told me a little bit the other day.
But what we might do is have a thing where if they tell us at the beginning of the year, I'd like to just get paid for the holiday, as the holiday comes, my 4 hours. And that way there, Hope will know, okay, I pay this person
But we haven't,
every
So,
time.
we actually, when we retracted that and said, if we're gonna do it this way, we're just gonna give them, so many hours accrued every month. Sure, they could tell Hope
Right,
to credit them whenever they wanted it, or as it was being accrued.
on the holiday,
If
right.
they could. But that's just kind of a personal instruction, like, it wouldn't change the policy.
I'm not asking for it to change the
Yeah,
policy.
okay, all right.
I just would, some people like at the transfer station might want it paid out on the holiday as it comes up.
Okay. And we could have them,
So instead of their 4-hour holiday pay that they get now, they'll get 4 hours a month.
of PTO time.
And which,
And they can choose whenever day they wanted to,
So they could take 2 holidays, take a whole day off.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be approved by you still,
yeah,
because
you still have to approve the time off.
you can have
So you gotta
somebody,
give them the time off when you're short-handed. There you go. I'm gonna have a talk, though, but that would help me.
But also, I think we could,
6 off, that's a.
I think we could also have a little session where we describe it too, so that
Yeah,
it's not
I-
like they're freaked out about it
No, I
being
think their big
changed.
issue, I mean, it kinda Chris has before, but I think their big issue is gonna be the lack of pay. Cause you're going from,
But it doesn't have to
12.
be a lack of pay.
oh, that's right, never mind, no, I'm thinking something else with it.
Yeah, no, there's no lack of pay.
Yeah, that's right.
The
They can
only
just-
thing
They
is-
can just choose it whenever, they can choose,
Yep.
you could just say, add 4 hours every single month at the end and pay me that PTO time.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, it wouldn't occur on January 1st or January, there's two in January, right? It wouldn't occur on those holidays, it would occur
Right,
on the
they'll
date of their
get
choosing.
4, and they can use it,
They can use it whenever they want.
okay.
And they could even accumulate it if they wanted to, because if they want, take 2 days in May,
No, if they don't take any of it, is it a payout at the end of the year?
no,
No.
it's use it or lose
They
it.
have to
Just
use
like
it
a
or lose it.
holiday, it would be a use it or lose it, yeah. But it just provides more flexibility, is what it does. And I think that my point would be, you'd want to explain that to them, is that it just provides more flexibility. What Dave's referring to, if they don't even want the flexibility, they could just say, I just want my 4 hours on a holiday.
Right.
Just pay me like I always was,
Yeah.
I'll always have
or
that.
be it once a month, it'd be, because that's a.
Or once a month or something, yeah. So they can get the 4 hours paid every single month if they wanted
it's
to.
really based on what the employee can understand and how they like to use it.
Right, so, anyway,
So-
back to your thing.
No, thank you.
It's
I
a,
appreciate
it's a wash.
Sure, okay, so I'll keep that in
It's
mind.
actually just
What-
adds
What
employee
if a
flexibility.
part-time, work stat holiday, how does that work? They'll still get the 4 plus the time and a half for the hours
Yes.
worked on the holiday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's if they meet those hours, criteria of the hours, average hours.
Yeah, which they do.
Yeah.
Everybody down there
Yeah.
does, so. Okay. Not mean to get off on the subject,
No, that's
but
okay,
keep it in your
I
budget.
appreciate the board
Yeah.
explaining that. Supplies, that have been level funded since around 2019. We fund a lot of different things from this. I bumped that up just a little bit to account for water. We buy a lot of water at the PD. The boys are very thirsty. So I try to get good deals either through, I've been using Walmart as of late, just using my personal Walmart account, having it delivered. That's been working well because we can get the 40 packs. I'll try to get 8
Do you
to
know
10
what
at
you're
a time.
paying a year in water?
Probably around 500 or so.
Okay. Just a thought, like Capital Well, I think, I put a RO system in for, I think it was 800 at the time, it's probably more than that now.
Yeah, we've explored that. We would have to do a new sink, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's an
Um,
RO that was installed on the fire department side.
Yeah.
They could just use it
looked
from
at-
that one.
Well, they do, Linda does.
Linda does. Our guys are pretty adamant about not drinking any water from that building. It is what it is. Just because of the arsenic at the PD, and I don't know if they don't trust the reverse osmosis system or what. So I've been buying water. That's where we're at.
Okay,
I need to go, we talked about it, and we would need a new sink and potentially new plumbing and all that
Yeah.
stuff
okay.
too.
If there's extra cost,
Yeah.
fine. If it's just if it's a trust factor, we could have water tests done to
We
show that there's no arsenic out of an RO system.
Yeah.
Like 0.
Yep.
And an RO system, I know, you can trust bottled water to some extent, but you know that there's even proof that sometimes bottled water has pesticides
I'm
or
aware,
other
yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Now big name brands don't wanna risk that because of their reputation
Sure.
and whatnot. But anyway, I think an RO system is a trusted system in terms of
Sure.
nothing. And you'd get other things that would be expelled out of that, whether it be benzene and, other other
But an
chemicals
RO
like that.
system, it does have, if he's only spending 500 a year, that's, I mean, the maintenance cost of an RO system, if you don't maintain it, the system goes to pot.
It can, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a dual,
Yeah.
dual
We're
thing.
scheduled for the maintenance this month, by the
Okay.
way.
And we did kick this around, and for the PD, just cost-wise, it didn't really make a whole lot
Did
of
you
sense.
guys used to have, one of those big tanks where you tip the tanks in, or you
Many, many moons ago.
guys didn't like that either?
I mean, we had it when I first started, and then they got rid of it. I'm not quite sure why. And then we've been at.
I don't even know the
water.
cost of those, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, those aren't too bad. The bottled water, quite frankly, it's convenient. It gets delivered right to the PD. We haul it up.
take it with you.
Well, especially if
whatever
it's
you
in
do.
your car and stuff.
Well, and
Yeah,
that's the
what I
other
was
big thing is sorry.
I don't mean to interrupt, but just to advocate for Chris's point. You brought a water bottle.
Who are you?
Water in it,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Crosby, road agent.
Okay.
I know it's not public, but I'm in the system here, so
All right.
I wanna advocate for them. These guys spend most of their time on the road. So it's nice to grab that water bottle and go. They're not in the facility where, and then, oh, I gotta fill my water bottle before I go and all this. They can grab a couple waters, keep them in the car, and it's much more convenient. We do the same thing when we're plowing, just have some waters, because it's easy. You can't always go to the sink and get one.
Yep.
I'm just advocating it, and I think you're splitting hairs on the cost.
I
You
agree.
guys are making me want to water right
And
now.
all that,
No, I know.
you know, granted, you get away, you're reducing waste, you know, the plastic bottles, I
Yep.
understand all that, but they're selling 1 million of those, everybody's got a bunch in their closet. I know, we got 100 of them at home, or close to it.
It's not uncommon for the boys to grab 3 or 4 waters on the way out the door.
It's like 100 of them a year.
So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that increase there. Training, I did have to bump that up. That was also level funded since 2020. State mandated training hours to the academy have gone up since that time, and tuition-based training has also gone up. We're trying to develop a career development plan for each officer. One of those items is advanced firearms training at the 6 Hour Academy. We've been sending officers to that. But more importantly, our ammunition stockpile, Sergeant Tyler put together a spreadsheet, basically the bare minimum of what we would need to do our annual qualifications and training. And that would account for that yearly moving forward, instead of doing it kind of piecemeal as we go. It develops a much more efficient system moving forward as far as ammunition inventory and accountability. Prosecution, that's contractual, that only went up $242. We've been with Concord City for about 25 years. I have no complaints. Computer hardware, I had to bump that up. That's gonna be a one-time increase for the NAS, the Network Access Storage I was speaking about towards the beginning of the presentation. That's the quote that I got from our IT company, and it is a system that they have to set up to ensure compatibility with our network and CJIS compliance for all the data that we store. The other thing that this line funds, the board probably remembers last year, we bumped this up to allow us to start replacing a computer each calendar year. We have 4 desktops that are from 2020, and they're starting to get pretty tired. So this line allows us to start incrementally replacing our desktop computers. I bought one this year for Sergeant Tyler because the computer he had was not working very well for the investigations he was working on, so I had to buy him a kind of a supercomputer, if you will. So that was this year's purchase. With the Zopa's donation, buying a computer for the 6th full-time officer, I'm probably gonna buy a new computer for myself next year, because mine is the oldest of the 4, I believe. But that allows us to get on an incremental cycle of replacing these every single year without having to do a capital improvement plan or a big warrant article. Gasoline, that's always difficult to budget for. I kept that level funded just based on our use this year. Obviously, with another officer in a car, it'll go up a little bit, but we're also not working as many details, so that tends to level out there.
You only spent less than 10,000. Why you're not taking it down at all?
No, I want to make sure I have the flexibility with another officer being out on patrol, and then if for some reason we have a heavy detail year and the town makes out really well, I want to make sure we have adequate funding for our gasoline.
Okay, but the prices have gone down too.
Right. It's such a volatile thing. I know
Okay.
there was a few years where we had some pretty big jumps, and
Okay,
I'm comfortable leaving it as is.
level funded. Okay.
Yeah. Dispatch, that went up about 1,000. That's contractual. There's an IT pass-through cost. They maintain our mobile data terminals, which are the computers in our cruisers. But again, I always like to put the cost comparison in there. Around 10 years ago, when we were with Bo and we had no IT support, it was about $29,000. So I think we're getting a really, really good bang for our buck with costs down.
Do you pay monthly or quarterly? How do you pay that?
Generally, it's a quarterly invoice that gets sent to us.
Because we're just a quarter short.
They tend to fall behind a little bit, and at the end of the year, we got to go knock it on their door.
Okay, thank you.
Computer software, that went up just $120. That's our scheduling software that we use. Network hosting, I kept that level funded. I'm still waiting on the quote, but again, I don't anticipate any significant cost increases there. And I'm on page 10, I apologize. IMC, that's our records management system. That went down a little bit. We removed a feature that we didn't need earlier this year. But we did add another license for an additional MDT that we're gonna put in D6, our 2020 SUV, but that line still did go down. Telephone, that I'm proposing that goes up about 500. That'll cover the phone for the new officer, and then an additional air card for the MDT and the cruiser, so it can have cell service. You can see we have a lot of different things that fall under the purview of telephone, and a lot of those costs I can't control. But it covers our fax line, long distance calling, internet and email through Granite State, network connectivity for our mobile data terminals, and then our 24-hour dispatch line through Consolidated that gets ported right over to Goffstown Dispatch, and then our AT&T FirstNet cell phones, which give us priority on a tower during emergencies, which is certainly very helpful to have. Vehicle maintenance, again, Sergeant Tyler puts together a very detailed spreadsheet projecting costs. This is kind of a moving target as well. If we have a really big expense or repair that we're not prepared for, that can kind of throw a wrench in the spokes. But we're doing brakes every 1 to 2 years. We're doing tires every single year for each car generally. But this covers car washes and oil changes, tire rotations. We're still going to do state inspections on our cruisers even after January 30th.
It's still required,
I believe it is for municipalities and commercial vehicles, but it's something we still obviously want to do regardless of what the law says. Even if the law exempted us, we would still do it. Page 11, everything on page 11 is level funded. Kind of the highlight with radio repair that got increased earlier this year to allow us to start installing mobile radio repeaters in our cruisers. So we're gonna buy another one after the new year, probably for Sergeant Tyler's car. Body cameras, that's gonna cover the camera for the new officer.
The age of the current body cams.
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna touch on with the board at the very end. Thank you for the reminder. And then uniforms, I had to bump that up a little bit. Body armor's not cheap, but we do have to replace it every 5 years. So we have 2 officers that are due for a replacement in 2026. So that'll account for that. But again, we will be getting half reimbursement through the Department of Justice. So we did move to a uniform allowance. We keep a spreadsheet. We allocate a certain amount of money to each officer to make sure that we're not, spending $1,000 on one and $200 on another. Every officer gets a set amount throughout the year for boots, pants, jackets, whatever they may need, and then we deduct it down. That's been really good for accountability and budgeting.
You guys taking care of your own uniforms?
I'm sorry?
You guys taking care of your own uniforms?
As far as like cleaning them and stuff
Yeah.
like that? We have, I should remember the name. We have a contract, I believe it's with Arno's in Concord. So if an officer gets their Class A uniform or fancy uniform really dirty or something like that, they can bring it there to be laundered. And then we have a seamstress that we have an account with as well if we need to do patches or things like that or fix rips and things of that nature.
But day in and day out they're washing and
That's
maintaining
correct.
their own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anything above and beyond that, we
Right.
have businesses for that. I'm sorry to be taking so long, guys. With respect to the body cameras, the board probably remembers we got a grant for those.
I did.
Yeah, the 50-50 match grant. So the contract with Motorola expires next year, 2027 that is. So I'm gonna be looking at a contract with potentially Axon, which is the company that makes tasers. So they make cameras as well, so you can get a taser camera bundle, and it's a 5-year contract, and you just pay it yearly. Our tasers are fairly old. They don't make them anymore, to my understanding, so it kind of lines up well with our Motorola contract ending, which is these body cameras, and then potentially looking at a new vendor, but that's something I would obviously bring to the board when the time comes. The other thing I wanted to put on the board's radar, not for this year, but we're gonna have to do something with radio infrastructure at some point. Mills Hill is a geographic barrier to good radio communications. Our officers have a really hard time communicating on their radios on the north end of town, and it's an officer safety issue. It's been mitigated a little bit by the mobile radio repeaters in the cruisers, which is essentially when the officer keys up on their portable radio, it'll hit off the mobile in the car, which is a higher wattage radio, and it'll go generally to Mount Uncanunic, which is where Goffstown's infrastructure is, or Powell Lane, they have infrastructure there as well, and then back to dispatch. Ware just installed the system on South Sugar Hill. They have a small fire station there right on 77. They just put up a tower there for Ware PD. So if and when the time comes, it would be a project we'd work on with Goffstown and potentially put our stuff right on the tower. So at least tower costs we wouldn't have to worry about.
You mean where?
Correct, yep. Right on 77. It's just, Mills Hill is awful. As soon as you get down into that valley, our radio communications pretty much go out the window.
What about putting something on that tower that's up there on the top of Mills Hill?
That's an AT&T tower. I don't know if they would let us put infrastructure up there. The good part with South Sugar Hill is that would cover a bulk of Clough State Park and the Hop Ave OHRV Park.
Did Goffstown add to this tower over here?
They did, yeah. So the south end is great, but as soon as you hit Mills Hill, that shadow.
Yeah, because they just put the new tower by the fire station in Goffstown on Blackbrook as well.
Yeah, so they did that site, and then as far as Dunbarton, they used the one on Powell Lane. They put a microwave and a repeater there, which benefits them. It gives them another site for their stuff. Helps us too, but again, the north end of town is just terrible. So that'll be something at some point. Maybe there's a grant Brandon and I can find through the state. It'll probably be a joint venture with Goffstown because it would benefit their dispatch center as well, but I just wanted to let the board know at some point I might be coming with a proposal for that.
Okay.
I appreciate the board's time. If you have any questions going through this, please let me know.
I read through it earlier. The only one I have is on that overtime.
I'll certainly get those numbers to the board.
I think that's going to be the biggest question.
Good thorough job, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, the hard part about your budget is the fact that because your officers haven't been, those positions haven't been filled, you know, you look at your actual expenditures and it's gone up over $200,000 when you look at your needs, but that's not true to your last budget, but
Can I just ask you, are you gonna be wanting a capital reserve deposit?
Yes.
That's the only,
That's the only warrant article.
you gotta figure in this, you know, there's an officer that still needs to be filled at 73,000 plus 25 extra, there's $100,000 right there.
Right there.
Those two items.
Right, yeah, the sixth officer and the overtime accounts for the largest chunk of the
2/3 of it
increase.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just people have to get used to the sticker shock of looking at the new amount.
Sure,
You know?
fair enough.
We hadn't had the officers to fill that, so we've been kind of, it hasn't gone up
Right.
steadily. We've kind of hobbled along.
Yeah, because this year, as you know, it was only funded for 5 months.
Right.
And we haven't filled it. So,
Right.
but I mean, for comparison, it took us 8 months to fill Officer Philbrook's spot with Officer Nesbitt, so I'm fully expecting maybe 6 to 8 months. I'm hoping well sooner than that, but
Do you have somebody in the pipeline for the sixth one?
not
right now?
formally, no.
And that 73 funds it for 12 months.
Correct, that's step 2 patrol. But if I bring in an officer at step 6 patrol with experience, I would
Yeah.
need that money there, even if it wasn't
Is
filled.
it-
with
Can't
the-
really
What would be
pull
the
from
average lead time for an experienced officer? 1-2 months?
As far as the hiring process, generally 1 to 2 months.
So you're gonna have built-in savings right there.
Yeah,
Well, it depends. If you're doing an experience one, like you said,
That's true.
you need the higher steps, so you don't have no savings.
there could be savings there if we hire a brand new officer too.
Yeah.
But we're trying, but as the board very well knows, we're very picky.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure we get the right fit. And everybody's hiring, that doesn't help either. So,
Okay,
thank you for the board's time, I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Also got on running the show. Next person up, Brandon Scoglin, Fire Department Chief, to go over the 2026 budget. Come right up, Brandon, to the chopping
Thank
block.
you so much.
I'm gonna put that in that pile, thanks.
Very excited to be here with you all.
Okay,
I
assume everybody has had a chance to look at some of the info I sent over.
I didn't see your email in the bunch when I looked, but anyway, we'll go over it tonight.
He had you in mind though, Dave, big fonts.
I see that.
So I guess I can start a little out of order here. I think the easiest thing to start with is the net increase over last year. On the first page here where I have the summary, 11 line items total are requested with a net increase of a total of $47,766. 22 budget line items have been expanded into 23. As you can see by looking at the sheet, the one in red, the new administration per diem. Last year's budget, those numbers. Yeah, in last year's budget, those numbers were included with the part-time. So that part-time line item covered call member salary and payroll, and the numbers that we used for the per diem payroll. So it was one larger line item, which is why you can see it went down from budget last year to budget this year. So last year budgeted at $76,000. This year's budgeted at $42,000. $42,000 is the number that I'm using to budget for call member response, training, etc.
That's a better breakdown.
Yeah, it certainly makes it cleaner and easier to keep track of the difference between the two. The new number, the new line that you see for the administration per diem, $57,330. If you look on the second page, the per diem salary calculation, that comes from just number of calendar days in 2026. There are 261 days, minus our 12 holidays, gives you 249 working days. At 8 hours a day, which is the current schedule that we're using in 8 to 4, it's about 1,992 hours. I used the AEMT rate. As a reminder, we have 3 rates. We have a firefighter EMT, a firefighter AEMT, and a firefighter paramedic rate. I used 2878, which is the AEMT rate plus the 3% projected COLA for this year. It gives me a total of $57,314.76. Which is rounded up to $57,330.
And because last year was your first year with it, you only had budgeted 8 months?
So last year was budgeted with a total of, I have it here, $38,920. And because of that, it would have come out to a rate of about $20 an hour, which would have been subpar from what Chief Wiggin had told me that he had found on his salary comps that he did with other area departments around us. When I initially met with him at the beginning of the year, he told me that he had planned on $28.50 an hour, and he was just going to move forward with that using one rate. The reality of that is that we have 3 different levels of providers. Their pay should be commensurate with the education and the training that they have, and was also the product that they're able to provide to the town. Right, so separating it out into the EMT, the AEMT, and the paramedic rate was the easiest way to do that, and to do it with comparable pay, it had to be at a higher number than $20 an hour. So I used, when I started the year, $23, $26, and $29.
He's trying to find it based on experience and qualification.
Based on education, based on certification, and what they'd be able to do for the town. Yeah. So that line item increased.
So you based it all at the higher rate? Is that what you did for this?
No, the average rate, the middle rate, which is the AEMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 28.78 per hour?
28.78 per hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently we have 4 per diem employees.
So some will be below, some will be above that?
Well, right now the 4 that we have, 2 of them are AEMTs and 2 of them are paramedics.
Okay.
But the other reality is with 4 employees right now, I haven't been able to actually fill in staff every single day anyhow. So there are going to be gaps in the schedule. There are going to be holes which will make up for some of this difference as well. I don't anticipate being able to staff and fill all 249 days with only 4 people on the payroll. Part of the reason why we only have 4 is just the ability to actually equip these people with uniforms, with PPE and equipment and things they need to be able to do their jobs.
So I see an increase there of $18,000 over last year.
Yes.
And will you expect that to increase again, or is that going to stay fairly level?
Only for COLA.
Only for COLA?
Yeah, only for COLA, or if any other salary comps come up where we fall behind, I'll do my best to keep on top of what other departments are paying their per diem employees.
Yeah, and again, as a town, we're going to try and get on some sort of schedule. We kind of look at every 3 years and not try and look at it all the time, I guess. But Okay,
So, next line down on page 2, chief salary calculation, so the $44,000 from this year increased to 46,400 with the projected 3% COLA. I also added in $1,800, which was unaccounted for the 4 part-time holidays,
right,
for the 12 holidays a year, so I did use the new, the 2026 rate with the 3% COLA.
okay,
So it turns out to be a $4,200 increase with the COLA and the $1,800 unaccounted for holiday stipend.
okay,
Next line down, for increase, you have the mutual aid compact fee. I did email the capital area worksheet for their budgeting. Non-discretionary line, $38,388 last year. It's $40,324 this year, so roughly $2,000 increase.
And wasn't that based on population?
No, it's
No,
assessment.
Assessment.
Yeah, it's a very big calculation, not just about population, but about average income. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Okay.
It seems reasonable, it doesn't seem unreasonable.
Our current assessment is 744 million, not 760. So I don't know if that's gonna play any factor in that calculation.
But I can certainly bring that to the capital area chief and
Yeah.
see if that'll change what we pay.
I'll shoot you an email.
Please, yeah, thank you.
That's what we got on that.
on to gas,
Yeah, so on to gasoline, currently right now, I estimate that we'll complete the year about 20% over the budget. So I've requested a $500 increase on that from $1,000 to $1,500, but are just reflecting use of vehicles, use of gasoline-run vehicles. So particularly the car and where my position being 24 hours a week, I think I'm just using it more than John had ever used the command car previously for department-related business. And just as a note, I think that the gasoline budget in 2027 is going to increase. The ambulance that we're getting rid of is a diesel engine. The new ambulance that is projected to be delivered for first quarter of 2027 is a gasoline engine.
okay,
Okay, so I think that line item is going to go up, and the diesel line item will commensurately go down to.
And diesel was supposed to be so economical years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of departments that have made the switch. I think there's some concern for the reliability of gasoline engines and heavy-duty vehicles like that, and overheating and problems with the engines. I do know of a few area departments that have had problems with their engines, but we'll keep an eye on it, make sure that we're not running into any problems with it. So to roll into diesel, requesting $2,800 for this year, just again an $800 increase. Right now, I estimate we're going to be about 15% over budget by end of year. And again, I think that I'm going to see a decrease in 2027 as the ambulance switches over to gasoline. Next line down, office supplies. We're just seeing more use in the station with business in general. So it was a $400 line item in previous years. Printers, ink, paper, just office supply items, I believe, is going to go up a little bit, particularly with the ink. So I requested a $200 increase to bring it up to $600 there.
You don't have water bottles, I see.
I don't have water bottles. Well, so in fairness, we do actually have water bottles. All of the water that we've ever gotten has been paid for out of pocket by either myself, the deputy chief, or we do have a lot of water bottles at the station. And actually, we got a donation of 6 gallons of water at one of our big brush fires this year, which I actually gave to the police department, just knowing that they have issues with their water there and like a clean thing to drink from. So. Next slide. Any questions, by the way?
Oh, you're doing good, doing great.
Right, a little too fast, okay. So telephone line, this will make Dana happy. We're gonna see an $800 decrease. I know this is a personal project of his and it actually worked out really well. So we have eliminated our fax line at the fire station, which is wonderful because I'm not only gonna save on the fax line, I'm gonna save on paper. We only ever got junk spam faxes through that. I can't remember the last time that the fire department has had to use the fax machine to transmit information. Just not a thing that we use anymore with the availability of email and security email. So that brought it down to $1,800, which is an $800 decrease. Department equipment maintenance. I've requested a $5,000 increase in this line item. 2025 was $15,000. There are a lot of needs that I've identified throughout the calendar year where I think we're going to wind up seeing an increase here, particularly with our aging fleet and the amount of money and the number of repairs that I'm seeing. Take into consideration the few of the most recent things that have happened. Air compressor on one of the engines that keeps the auxiliary air tanks actually filled. A primer motor on our tanker just had to be recently replaced. We've had an alternator rebuilt. We've replaced tires on the ambulance. We've had vehicle batteries on the ambulance, and they're not just one. There's multiple in each truck. They're several $100s a piece. So there's been big expenses, and I don't anticipate that that's going to change just based on the age of the fleet. Some other items like our SCBA's and the station air compressor. There's always been a contract for our air compressor to be maintained once annually, but per NFPA standard, there are supposed to be quarterly air tests that come along with that, and we've never had that. So I've entered into a new contract with one of the companies that does that. They maintain our compressor, and they also provide us with quarterly air tests to make sure that we don't have any problems with our breathing air, which is critical.
That's what you, for breathing apparatus?
That's correct.
Okay, that's important then.
Yes. Yep. To go along with our SCBA's, there are several other items that per standard are supposed to be done on a regular basis. Flow testing of these SCBA's to make sure that there are no problems with either the primary or the secondary regulators. That's supposed to be done on an annual basis, and up until this point, it was only ever done on an SCBA if it was sent out for repair. So anytime an SCBA is sent out for repair, they always do a flow test on it before they put it back in service. And that was the only time we were ever getting that done. So there was nothing that was done on a scheduled basis. And we very well could have some air packs that haven't had a flow test since they've been put in service. The bottles themselves that contain the air, those are required to be hydro tested on a every 5-year basis, and they have an overall shelf life of 15 years. The current bottles that we have are 7 years old, and they've never been hydro tested. So they were hydro tested when they were put in service initially, but 2 years ago they missed the hydro test date. That's going to cost us some money, so there's an increase for that as well. The other thing that I've noticed, particularly with our small engines, powered equipment, we've never really had any sort of a regularly scheduled preventative maintenance kind of program. What we've had has been more of a repair program. Generally, in our line of business, I'd rather not find out that there's a problem with the equipment when I need to use it in the emergency side of things. So what I'd like to implement is a regularly scheduled preventative maintenance program where all of our powered equipment gets a tune-up every so often. We don't use this equipment a whole heck of a lot. I don't think there's any reason why it has to be done every year. I was thinking on maybe an every 2-year basis, on a biannual basis. But changing things such as the air filters, the spark plugs, cycling out the fuel filters, just to make sure that these pieces of equipment can run when we need them to. We did switch over. The fire department switched over to using ethanol-free gas in these engines quite a while ago, so we're seeing less and less problems with the carburetors getting clogged and not being able to run. But a small part of it, I think the preventative maintenance side of things will get us into a kind of a better lane. So that's some of the biggest stuff that really goes into why I've asked for an additional $5,000 there. Radio repair / fire. So pretty big increase here. Traditionally has been a $500 line item. There hasn't been a lot of money that's been put into here. Generally been used to pay for replacement batteries, clips on the back of a radio, a handheld speaker mic that attaches to it, some smaller pieces here. So the line item going up this much, what I'm asking for, the $6,200 increase, is going to cover the cost of the radio that we need for our new ambulance, which isn't covered in the CIP. So the CIP kind of came out just under $350,000. which didn't leave any room for any radio. I don't want to read this, line by line to you, but basically of the 9 vehicles that we have in fleet and the 10 total mobile radios that we have, 3 of those radios are newer. Right, the 2 newest ones are in the command car that's sitting outside. The other newest one is in the engine that was just purchased last
So
year.
some of the dollars will go to replace radios?
What's that?
Some of the dollars will be replacing radios too?
So of the $6,200 increase, that
Yeah.
that $6,200 is going to pay for 1 radio.
Okay,
Yeah. So they're not cheap. They don't give them away.
okay.
So that $6,200 is going to pay for the radio in the ambulance. It's a little bit more expensive than doing just a single head 100-watt radio, because the ambulance has 2 radio heads. You have the one in the front of the vehicle that the driver and attendant uses to report back and forth where they're going. The one in the back of the truck, they switch the channel. That one talks to the hospital, goes back and forth. So it's the same radio, they just have 2 different control heads and can be operated from the front and the back of the vehicle. So typically, a single head radio, same thing, about $5,000, minus any installation fees.
It's kind of scary when you say they're 23 years old, some of the radios.
Yeah, so the radios that we have, the one that's in the ambulance, the radios in both tankers, the one in our oldest engine, our rescue truck, the one in the UTV, the one in the forestry, they are all Motorola Astro Spectra radios. They were purchased by the state of New Hampshire in 2002 as a part of a statewide interoperability grant, and they were given to agencies around the state. I know Chief Remillard has since replaced all of those radios for his fleet. My biggest concern right now is that they're not supported, they're not maintained, and there are no parts available from the manufacturer. So should one of those radios actually go out of service, we're not just looking at a pretty hefty unexpected fee, $5,000 to $6,500. We're also looking at an extended out of service time for these, for whatever apparatus that is, while I can get a manufacturer to order the radio, program it, bench test it, and then come out and do the install. Which would be all new wires.
Can I throw an idea out? Would it be worthwhile to maybe make a warrant for replacement radios? A one-time warrant?
Those old
It's
radios
funny, I
are
just
probably
wrote
built better than the
warrant
new
question.
ones. Those old radios probably built better than the new ones.
I know, but
They might be, well, even if, I'm almost wondering, is there an option to maybe buy ahead, like have one, instead of just for the ambulance, have another one, right? And then maybe if you do have one fail, you at least, I don't know if it's easy, but can you swap, hey, this one into that one? And maybe you do 1 per year or something?
Yeah, so 1 per year is where I was considering starting right now. But one of the other thoughts that I had is, while we're in the process of getting our emergency operation plan up and running, that's the only thing that we can apply for an emergency management preparedness grant right now,
Yeah.
because we don't have a current EOP. Once our EOP is current and our hazardous mitigation plan are current, that opens up an opportunity for us to apply for emergency management preparedness grants for other things like critical communication infrastructure. So the communication equipment that Chief Remillard is considering for the radio tower, and portable radios, mobile radios for our apparatus, those are all a part of emergency management preparedness.
you gotta have the plans to open the door so you can apply for those.
We have to have the EOP updated to current standards before we can consider applying for another EMPG. So I very much like the idea of having federal money to be able to replace these without requesting it in CIP or taxation of any kind. So my plan right now for 2026, one-time pull in operational budget, with a little bit of an offset. If you read a little further down, we did actually get $5,000 when the command car sold for $5,000 at auction, the old command car, and I think our side of it was about $4,500
After the fee.
after the fee. So what
We
I'd like
spent
to do,
that already.
no, you haven't. What I would like to do, if there's an option to be able to do so, to use some of those monies to be able to offset the one-time cost of the $6,200–$6,300 that
You have it in your
cost us.
budget, so
It's all right, it's in your budget, but I just don't wanna enter the year and then find one radio goes down in a major truck, in a major vehicle, and then, but we have a maintenance line too, if we had to, I don't wanna do a knee-jerk reaction, have to wait 3 weeks for a new radio to come in.
Sure. Yeah, no, understandable.
What's the timeline from the EOP plan to being able to apply for a grant?
So it's funny you asked that. We had.
Isn't that another step here in our coming up?
Uh,
Yeah, it's next up.
Emergency management is next up, yeah, but essentially it had been delayed. It's gonna come out again. We had a problem with the original application that went in about 2.5 months ago. But we're reapplying. It's gonna have to go back to governing council. But we'll give you a little bit of an update on
Okay.
that when we get to the emergency management plan. We hit an unfortunate snag,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Can I just speak on the expense of this kind of
Radio.
product, radio? We've done it in the past where if you knew that they had to replace a whole fleet of something, you would include X amount of dollars with a 5-year lapsing. So you have one article, the money stays there, and he could do that once a year replacement out of the article so that it doesn't lapse. But typically a budget lapses at December 31st, a warrant article, unless you have a contract.
I like
lapses.
his idea better, just waiting and trying to do it out of grant.
Correct, if he's able to do that, but in the event they have to do the warrant article, then you wanna make sure that you include up to 5 years or have
Do
it
a
expire in 5
non-lapsing.
years. This is a non-lapsing. And the DRA recommends that, because they don't wanna see these reoccurring, same articles every year.
Without jumping to making it a huge expense, one of the options that we will have when the ambulance gets traded in, I have to check with the vendor to see if the radio is a part of that. I think it might be. We get an $11,000 trade-in value on that ambulance, and I think they're including that radio to go with it. If I speak to them and they're not, we do have the option to actually take that radio out. And while it is aged, it's older.
It's a backup.
It's still functional
It's-
right
yeah,
now,
it's a-
and it's a backup. So if I can retain that from the ambulance when we get rid of it, and I do lose one of the other ones, I wouldn't have to jump immediately to purchasing another.
It's contingency, having a contingency.
Yeah, yeah, so my plan is to hold on to as much of the functional equipment as, that we have as possible, and baby step this until I can see whether or not there are funds available to do this at no cost, which would be best option.
And is that a dual head radio?
The ambulance currently is a dual head radio,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that idea.
Can
So-
they be ignorant here? Can they be used as a single head radio if you needed it
Absolutely,
as a
yeah,
single head?
the dual head doesn't need to be installed, so if we were
Okay.
replacing a dual head to a single head location right now, you wouldn't need to install a second head, it'll still function with just one.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, no, good question, thank you.
yeah.
I think that's it for the radios. Any
Yep,
any
no, you're
question
good.
on the
You're
radio
good.
line? Okay. Fees and services, so $1,000 increase requested. This primarily comes from a direct CAD integration. So the CAD is our computer-aided dispatching center, dispatching software. So basically, anytime we respond anywhere, we make a radio transmission. On our dispatch center side of things, they click a button, they add our apparatus, and they do all of the critical documentation for us. Historically, whenever we've done both of our reports on this, right, so if there was a fire call and an EMS call, all of that information would be sent over to us in an email. We would have to either look online or print that email out and then manually transcribe it into 2 different reports, right? So not as accurate. What we have now with this $1,000 direct CAD integration, this is an annual recurring fee. Anytime the dispatchers click a button, record something for us that we say on the radio, it all dumps automatically into each one of our reports. So redundant for both fire and EMS, accurate to the second, and it gives us a much cleaner data extraction at the end of the year when I go to pull times based on, dispatch to response time, dispatch to arrival time. Just a lot more cleaner and accurate information, plus it also saves a significant amount of time each time we go to complete one of these reports.
Your spreadsheet is a little bit off here then.
Which one do I have?
But fees and services, fire department, you had 1,500 and you questioned 1,500.
Oh, yes, thank you for catching that, I'll have to change it.
It should be 25?
Yes, yep,
Okay.
thank you for catching that.
No.
Good job, Mike.
Didn't he just cost us money?
So then where I
Which side do
actually
you
got
want,
the-
Dana? I gotta give him another talking to.
So then to reflect that change as well, that first line on the first page, it should turn into, that should turn into 48,766. Where I got that number from was off of the spreadsheet, so my apologies.
It happens.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
That's better.
Well, the thing is, I'd rather do it now than have it be in the middle of a town meeting and someone pointed out to me.
No, you're very right.
It's very embarrassing.
Yeah, that's all right, that was just a little different than what the plan was, but that's all right.
Oh, you were supposed to go before me.
Well,
You're supposed to say, this is never making
I
it
got
to
a note,
town
a
meeting.
text to be here for 7:30, so I guess.
Well, you're on,
I was
you're
on time.
You're on time.
You weren't waiting on me.
My apologies.
All right, let's go.
So I'll
Protection
run through
equipment.
this. Protection equipment is my next line item, also requesting a $5,000 increase. We've had discussions regarding personal protective equipment in various meetings in the past. The $10,000 line item that I have allows me to do nothing more than just equip 2 firefighters with gear. It doesn't give me any funding to be able to replace equipment, to be able to replace adapters, nozzles, fire hoses, etc. So my intention with the $5,000 increase gives me the room to potentially equip 1 more firefighter. It also opens the door for me to be able to replace failed equipment, broken equipment, hose, etc. Just as a note, this year I did apply for a PPE grant, which would have covered outfitting 4 firefighters completely with pants, jacket, and a helmet. Didn't include boots, hood, or gloves, but it would have been an equivalent of about $18,000. We unfortunately didn't get that grant, but it is open annually, and I fully intend to apply for it again next year. On that same token, we did get an equipment grant. You guys are aware, a $10,000 equipment grant. That afforded us the 3 gas meters, vehicle chargers, calibration gas, 3 portable radios with extra batteries. So slowly through grant money, still starting to bolster that stuff. Just don't want to have to rely on the grants to be able to get that equipment, but it will certainly free things up. If I can get a grant to get some equipment, then this goes unspent and the money can go back in. Subscriptions, $300 increase. I put in there the individual subscriptions that I get the calculation from. The NFPA is a valuable subscription. That's the National Fire Protection Agency. That's where we get our fire prevention supplies from, our professional affiliation for all NFPA publications, any updates that are coming out to NFPA standards. The New Hampshire Association of Fire Chiefs, National Volunteer Fire Council, the $24. The NVFC is what got us the opportunity to be able to get the gear and equipment grants, the PPE grant.
So some of these are new organizations you're signing up for?
3 out of the 4 of them, yeah. The NFPA has been a historical one that's been done annually.
Okay.
We've been a member of the NFPA for, I think, more than 20 years now. But the NHAFC, the National Volunteer Fire Council, and the National Association of EMTs,
But basically keeps your staff up to date and alerts you to like opportunities for new equipment.
it does, yeah.
Okay. No, I
How
just
come
want to
it's so low right now for this year, $64? Did some of these not hit yet?
That's a good question. I'd have to double check with Hope. They should be there. If not, then I may have mistakenly written the wrong line item, but they should be there.
Okay.
So I'll work with her to make sure that those are on it.
Okay.
I'm asking questions that the voters are going to ask,
Of
so
course.
bear with me.
Yeah, no, please do. This is what I need to hear to
Okay.
make sure I'm justifying this appropriately. Net ambulance expenses. I think by the end of 2025, I'm going to be about 120% overspent on this line item. It's about $3,500, or $3,500 budgeted right now at $7,693. I still do have a couple of other items that are needed. I identified a few things. So there was quite a bit of equipment that we had either in stock or on the truck that was expired, that was critical, that needed to be replaced. And some of that stuff is big ticket. It's 2 to 3 years worth of a valid shelf life. So I don't anticipate that we're going to have that same recurring cost next year. I think 2025 is just going to be a big hit. The other part of that is that we went from practicing at the AEMT level to practicing at the paramedic level, which comes with a significant amount of equipment, medications, etc. So because of that, that's why we're sitting at the 120% overspend that we've seen. There's pieces of equipment such as an intraosseous drill, which costs $400. The needles to run each one of those are a little over $120.
So to the voter, you can deliver better care to them when you arrive on scene.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything, I remember at times you've talked about the fact that you get some reimbursement for calls, right? So there's certain revenue associated with calls because of the higher level of service you can provide?
Correct, yeah, so we bill out, when we do transport folks to the hospital, in general, we have a BLS rate, an ALS 1 rate, and an ALS 2 rate. The BLS rate is just what it is, it's a basic life support. Every transport that we take to the hospital is BLS rate plus mileage. ALS 1 gets into any ALS procedure that's done, whether that's IV access, administering any medications. An ALS 2 rate gets into more complicated procedures, multiple doses of medication, and those are obviously higher as we go along here.
Yeah.
All of that billing that we collect goes into our ambulance special revenue account. To spend out of that is a warrant article that we have to put in. The general idea that for the account was created to be able to replace equipment or items that were needed to be able to run the EMS service. So the last expense that we had this year was $22,000-ish, which got us a controlled substance safe, an IV pump, and a ventilator, all of which have arrived and are being put in service. The year before that was a $293,000 expense to pay for the ambulance.
Dumb question, let's say, from a voter standpoint. Let's say you have an ALS level 1. What's the average reimbursement for one run to the hospital? Just ballpark.
So that varies from town to town. So Dunbarton actually has the lowest rates in the county.
Which is fine. We're not gonna say that, though.
It's our fee schedules.
Right.
Yeah, it's
that
our
are-
fee
that are
schedule,
adopted.
and I get kicked for it every time I talk to another area fire chief because we're holding them down.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what the rate is. So
They-
ALS 1, $1,200, $1,300
Okay.
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's between 800 and I think it's gone up to like 14 or 1,600. And
And that,
Obviously,
and
they
that
have
funds our special,
they have to bill
equipment
the
funds.
person's insurance.
Yeah, right,
and whatever is
which takes time.
reimbursed. Yeah,
Okay, again, a voter's gonna wanna know that, and since we can do the higher level of care now, it's, again, it's a win-win for the patient
Yeah.
and for the town.
Sure, yeah.
You gotta read further down, Bo's gonna be doing it all.
Bo's gonna be doing it all.
So,
No,
so
not
again,
sure.
from a voter perspective,
Yeah.
could that increase have been covered through a deduction out of that reserve fund where you're collecting revenues? Or is this
So it-
equipment not qualified?
No, it could have. Any equipment is qualified. It's just whether or not I know about it in time to write a warrant article to request it.
right.
Because the
Okay.
legislative body has to approve it.
You
Yeah.
can't take any money out the way it's currently set up
Oh.
unless it's a warrant article.
So any money spent out of that account have to be a specific warrant article request that I get to the county meeting that has to be voted on. So the last one that I asked for, the $21,000 for those 3 specific
Yeah.
pieces of equipment, I have to know about it. I have to be able to get, I have to get 3 quotes from every vendor on it if it's over a certain dollar value, and it takes a bit of time. By the time I realized we were down so much of this, and so many of these, so much expired equipment, and it was really beyond town meeting, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
First year in, you gotta jump in and see what you got.
And is there any way to ever write a warrant article to say, hey, I'm reserving
That's what we're talking about.
$5,000 for this
Oh.
coming,
No, you have to have a specific.
It's
it
gotta
has
be-
to be for specific items?
Yeah, it has to be a specific.
Well, the DRA will disqualify it if it's not. He would have to say, I need $5,000 to buy this, and that's the only dollar amount he can spend up to.
Well,
Yeah, no, I know
I think
that.
he's alluding to a
So you
radio.
can't just say general ambulatory care items within,
Not that I'm aware of,
okay.
no.
But if
You see where I'm going with that?
I do,
Just-
yeah.
So that you might not know in March what you need for the rest of the year, but if
Correct.
you, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going that way, I'm just throwing that idea out.
Would that be something that you would do in an article if you knew that the equipment's gonna expire in like October? That you could do.
That could,
So I
that's-
could, it's, if it's a larger ticket item that I know is coming up on expiration, it's something I certainly could, instead of having it come out of operational budget, I could ask for it to come out of there.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is, if you have to replace that vehicle and you keep spending it down every year, you're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, it
When it's
does,
750,000 next time you do it.
that's.
But we're gonna be in Bo anyway, letting Bo do it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if it's not smart to pull it out of there, then
You know what I
shouldn't
mean?
pull it out of there, right?
The CIPs for those major purchases, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
takes the
and
blow out of
so
that.
think major purchases, the stretcher, the load system, the
Yep.
cardiac monitor. Your cardiac monitor is a $50,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah,
The load
expensive
system itself is a
stretcher.
$20,000 or $25,000 piece of equipment. The stretcher is $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
I think it's designed for items like that, whether
Okay.
they're planned replacement or critical
Got it.
failure stuff.
Big
Yeah.
ticket items.
Okay.
Okay.
So last line item, paramedic intercepts, obviously with the availability of paramedics that we have in town. When we started the beginning of this year, started out with myself in January when I hired on our per diems. I hired one paramedic, and then since then, one of our other AEMT per diems has graduated paramedic school. And then the last phone call that I made to Dana today, like my 7th phone call, was to recommend that we hire another resident who moved into town, who was also a paramedic. So long as that is available, we're gonna have 4 paramedics that work on staff.
That's great.
Which have been added in 2025.
Mhm.
Huge benefit to the town. A lot of towns and a lot of services are struggling with paramedic level coverage. It's not a short program. It takes a lot of time and effort, and
There's a lot of elderly people in this town starting to be too, so.
yeah.
Myself being one of them.
I resemble that remark.
So what I did was I requested a decrease to bring it down to $2,200. $2,200 would basically cover us for 4 paramedic intercepts over a calendar year. The contracted rate with the mutual aid compact is $550 per intercept.
So it's like 4 intercepts.
4 intercepts, yeah.
Yep.
So the number as even as it was wouldn't have covered us evenly for an appropriate number of intercepts, but I dropped it down just to cover for 4 and, hope that that's all that we need with the other paramedics that we have available.
Yep.
So all the other line items that we didn't discuss remain level funded. I didn't see any need to change any of the numbers in those. We can take a look at them individually if you'd like, but the only other notes that I wanted to give you, some of the reasons why I was able to keep spending to a minimum, even though it doesn't seem like it. Our Firefighters Association goes to great lengths to support the fire department. The Dunbarton Firefighters Association is a 501c3 nonprofit. They raise money and receive donations on behalf of the fire department and our services throughout the year. And it exists solely to be able to support the department. They've purchased things for us, such as early on in the year I had an unexpected repair bill for the loading system in our ambulance. It cost $1,400. They covered that. They wrote a check, covered the cost of the repair directly. The town never saw it.
Can I be so bold to, I'd like you to make an advertise at town meeting, talk about that for a minute, then invite everybody to the barbecue.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay, because a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, it's going to the fire, no, it's a separate organization.
Yeah.
And tell us what they do for the town of Dunbarton as far as supporting the fire department.
Yeah.
I think just a spiel, we could just call on you when you come to present your budget. As a side note, we just want to talk about, and then you can say a little plug for the barbecue.
Yeah, one of the biggest efforts that I've made this year is to really draw the line between the 2 organizations to make sure that it's clear that the association is not the fire department, that it's a nonprofit, but it's there and
They're integral to the part of the town.
integral and exists solely to support the fire
Yeah,
department.
I think the public would really appreciate that, and especially, the barbecue, it's specifically for the association.
They estimated $6,800. They did buy us some other equipment, some computer screens and a mini PC, so that we can have our CAD and our iron responding system live in the training room, so we can.
I think
see all those calls.
that's news that can be shared with the public.
And then actually the last piece, which is a little bit of old business. This is a letter from the Firefighters Association to the town to notify you that they have donated $3,338.50 worth of equipment to the fire department. That's the video intubation piece that I requested that they donate, and they've done so. We've already ordered it. We're waiting to receive it. This is the official letter that says they purchased it and donated it to the town, to the department.
I'll add it to assets and send them a thank you.
Yeah, I think public could use some education here.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense. The only other thing is, I know I've mentioned to you several times that I apply for grants throughout the year. I did apply for approximately $52,000 in grants in the 2025 calendar year. I only was awarded $10,000, but as we discussed tonight, I don't plan on stopping that. I'd love to be able to get as much money as possible from everybody else with it available to be able to support our equipment and our department.
Passing your budget will be contingent upon you getting more money, I suppose that.
All right, sounds good. I'll grind hard.
Hire?
No, not just yet. I want to give Jeff the opportunity to present his budget. before I
That
carry on
was
with anything
humor,
else.
a little bit of humor about it.
I'm okay.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, yeah.
We're gonna skip over the emergency management.
For a moment, yeah, I think we gotta.
Well, you were here.
Next thing on the
Oh,
agenda,
no, it's a lot of talking.
What do you think?
Jeff Crosby, Highway Department proposed 2026 budget.
I lied to you.
We're gonna go back to level spending, not level services.
I lied to you.
We did.
I was here at your workshop and I told you I was gonna come in with no budget increase.
Yeah, you did.
I lied to you.
It's all right.
Had my budget. I had increased it from 793 to 718,800. I went up
3%.
$7.
3% COLA.
What? No. There was a bad number in there. If you look on the administration highway full-time, we budgeted $106,689. That was incorrect.
Well, I'm wondering if did the board amend that line at a,
Well, what? It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Let me finish my spiel.
okay?
That's what we budgeted. It was an incorrect number for 2 employees. I took that number and added the 3% to it and gave it to Lean. And then when she went through the thing, she said, hey, your number you're carrying for the 2 full-time employees is wrong. It should be 127,528. So that increased my budget by basically $18,000. I took my existing budget and moved some numbers around in it where we had overspent in some items and I took away from other areas.
Okay.
So if you fall down from the top, the big increase you're gonna see there is the full-time thing. I'll go through every one of these.
No,
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 I
no,
see,
no.
I
Yeah,
see.
I mean,
the
it's
other-
pretty self-explanatory.
It is.
Yeah.
Some of the things are double, you know, cause we're hoping to have that second employee, such as uniforms, et cetera. The amount of diesel fuel, I had budgeted, 13,000, where was it, I guess, diesel fuel. Whatever it is, 20,000, we only spent 11,700 now, we're not through the year, we're gonna have some more of that. But I bumped that up a little bit to 22, and where I got these numbers in the budget was basically down at the end from winter maintenance. Last year, we carried $100,000 for winter maintenance subcontractors. I was trying to get another subcontractor, we hadn't hired another employee, so I wasn't really sure how the subcontractor line item was gonna go. I was hoping it was gonna go down, but everything hadn't come into place, so we didn't know that. So I budgeted that number there. Obviously, if you follow that through, we budgeted 100,000, we spent 55 something as of
Today,
12/4.
Yeah.
There's still outstanding bills on that, we got more December to go, we could have some winter, we might not have any winter. This could be the last snowstorm for the year, I mean, you never know, right? That's a crapshoot. So there's obviously a large surplus there. So that's where I went to that, and I took 15,000 out of that, bumped it down to 85, and dispersed it in my other line items. So at the end of the day,
You're
my
fine.
numbers were even, except for that deficit of $18,000 for the employee. So I obviously added that in there to cover the cost of the employee, because we just hadn't adequately funded it.
Got it.
And your actual will change for the gravel as well.
For the what?
The gravel that we just did the contract for. Your actual expenses.
Yes, because I had asked you about taking that out of the surplus
Yep.
that we were gonna achieve for that. And I
Whatever
got,
line item you want.
yeah, the line item. And you follow what I'm getting at?
Yes.
So, that's why my intention of that was, all right, we didn't use it for the employee, we'll put it to something good, I went all through that. So that's why I came in with an increase in my budget.
And you got your 3%
But
COLA
in
and
reality,
everything.
it's not an increase.
No, we had a bad number,
Exactly.
and we didn't hire anybody, so it didn't really, it didn't come to fruition until Lean looked at my numbers and double checked them and found out that I'd made a mistake in it. So that's where it came from. It was just, for whatever reason, it ended up being a bad number
Yep, no,
last year.
it's,
And that this year's over, so it
Yeah.
doesn't make any difference.
right.
But
Thank
that's
you.
why that number jumped up.
Looks good.
And this pay rate includes what pay Pete Gamarsh's pay is gonna be this year. And then a new employee starting mid-range. Not at the bottom, not at the top,
Right.
mid-level range. which is like 28 something an hour,
Yeah.
28.52.
And it's the same philosophy as the police department, I mean, you hire them
Yeah,
in March,
yeah,
you got some extra,
exactly.
yeah.
And if we were a larger organization and we had different layers of workers, we could get a guy with basically no experience, maybe no commercial license, and he could grow into that. But we don't have that capability. There really wouldn't be any work for him. So we have to get someone that's more qualified with less people. So I mean, that is, like I said, if you follow through, you know, this.
It's pretty straightforward, thank you, no,
Yeah,
that's
like I
good.
said, I'm just not the line up, like, highway equipment maintenance. We spent 16, we budgeted 10. I had the dump body painted on our 550 truck, which was pretty rusty and ratty, and we're gonna obviously own it for a couple more years, so. That was a little off. We spent more on some repairs, so I bumped that up a few thousand to cover that. And in all honesty, some of this is in my era too, when Hope has been coming okay to bills. Sometimes I make a quick judgment call between the supplies highway department and department equipment and maintenance, and sometimes I tell her to take it out of the wrong end call.
But
You know what I mean? It might
from
be.
the voter standpoint, you did a little more maintenance on the vehicle you have.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at those, you'll say, well, geez, you got quite a surplus in your supplies. But if I went through every line item that I okayed for, you'd probably find I made a couple of mistakes. Oh, that's oil, that should have been up here, or this should have, you know what I mean? I think at that point, we're kind of splitting hairs on it.
No, it's just that,
I'm fortunate compared to these other guys, because I have a lot of moving targets based on the weather and everything else, where they have to be more precise for men and all that, whereas I feel I've got some flexibility. And in the past, with all the select boards, I've always told them the same thing. It starts with winter maintenance. We have no control over that. We have to spend what we have to spend. If it costs more to plow snow and remove it and supplies, so be it. It takes away from maybe highway maintenance and construction, but I always use the philosophy of vice versa. If we had less winter, we had a little extra money to spend in highway maintenance, and when you follow the actual cost through, you'll see that's what we've done. And to be honest with you, we'd still be doing more maintenance if the weather was better now, but with the snow and the cold weather, it's probably pretty gonna much stop us on that type of thing.
Well-
So that's where we're at.
yeah, you're at snow time now.
Yeah, so that's where it's at, those are the numbers.
How about
That
the
looks good.
warrant article?
Well, capital reserve, of
Just
course,
capital
yeah.
reserve, okay.
But like I said, that's where my increase was, and I just didn't realize that the other day when I talked to you.
It wouldn't change this, but we might be able to lower that telephone cost based on what we were talking about.
Okay,
That's the landline, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew you would.
it's a small, it would be a small impact, but it might save you.
I mean, I personally, it seems like a lot of money because we don't have any services now,
Yeah.
other than the alarm and our phone.
Yeah. We're looking to get you internet and still coverage with your alarm system and everything at less money than this.
Okay, as long as it's reliable.
We're cutting the
That's
local
the-
guy out.
Jeff, I just wanted,
Yeah.
the department equipment maintenance
Yeah.
line,
Yep.
You knew what I was gonna
from an
say.
ignorant voter, why did it go up $6,000 from just being able to talk to that at town meeting?
Oh, yeah, one of the key items was I elected to have a dump body painted, and the price to just do that was $3,500.
Okay.
On the truck.
Right,
So
but-
that was significant, and a couple other repairs.
Okay, just be comfortable
Yep.
with that, because
Oh, yeah,
you know,
no,
you know how the
no.
voters can be sometimes.
Yeah, but that's, again, that's why
Okay,
costs have gone up, and I looked back at it, and I said, all right, I gotta bump that from.
They're easy with Jeff once these two guys have gone.
Oh, yeah, they'll be worn out after these guys get done.
yeah, but the thing is, there's a gentleman who comes to the,
But if I go first, there won't be any money left for you.
there's a gentleman who comes to the public hearing, and the thing is, I won't say his name, but it begins with Ron, I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm perfectly comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, whatever budget I end up with, I'll work.
Oh, I know.
It's the way it is.
do you have that estimate for the crushed gravel yet, or?
I've got it, but the way he sent it to me, I had him email it to me.
Oh.
And it
I just-
comes out all,
Gibberish?
yeah, he cut and pasted it, I guess.
I
And it
just
didn't
need-
cut and paste it good. I got it, I can show you a copy of it.
I just
But
need-
it's not, you can't use it for a document.
Okay,
It's
So
too
we only
messed
got,
up.
how many more days?
about, not too many.
few more days to get that solidified.
What do you mean, how many more do you got? No,
3
meeting.
weeks, the 31st is on
No,
Wednesday.
we just gotta make sure your money's
3.5
encumbered.
weeks.
Oh, yeah, no, I
I just need it
No,
so I
I-
can encumber it.
talked to them at great length, and there was, I don't know if the email problem's on my end or their end, but if not, I'll just get we'll get together and I get a hard copy from them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I just tried to have them email it to me for tonight, so you could have it and approve it tonight, but it's fine. I got the estimates, 37 something, everything we talked about at the meeting.
Okay.
And he did put it in writing, but it's just messed up.
You know, we could make a motion to approve it up to $38,000.
I can go out to my truck and
No,
get
no,
my phone and
and
tell
then
you
let
what the
Lean
amount
execute
is.
it without us having to meet
Well,
again.
why don't we get the exact amount? He's got it on his
I
truck.
it's on, I got
Okay,
it.
yeah, that way we don't have to wait on another
Yeah,
meeting.
you can skip me and I'll come back.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna bring my phone in, but I don't usually bring it to meetings, so.
thank you, Jeff.
You got any more questions?
no, your
Nope.
budget looked good. as
Yeah, like
always.
I said, that, I apologize, cause I led you to believe I wasn't, but I had a bad number.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So we'll
Is
deal
that
with
your
it.
code or
Basically Lean's fault.
blame it on this? Why not?
All right, fire chief, emergency management update. Come right up.
I'm gonna bring my friend, the police chief with me. And his
Just don't go like this.
his favorite deputy. He is, very much. So emergency management, we talked a little bit about, the emergency operations plan. And the state of, Homeland Security has what's called an emergency management preparedness grant.
You know we just talk about this, we never do it.
Yes, absolutely. So we realized that so the emergency operation plan is supposed to be updated every 5 years. The current one in place was last updated in 2008. Right, so without a current emergency operations plan, the only EMPG grant we can apply for would be to request money to hire a consultant and help us get that emergency operations plan up to date.
Now, didn't Donna work on some of that emergency management plan?
She did the hazard mitigation.
Hazard mitigation.
Yeah, so both of those plans need to be up to date within 5 years in order for us to be able to go and apply for EMPG funds.
And they know exactly how to write it.
They do, yeah, so they
Make a living.
for sure, yeah. So when we initially worked with our field rep from Homeland Security and Emergency Management, historically, the field reps have been able to apply for these things on behalf of emergency management directors. Well, she filled out the application, applied for it on our behalf, and at some point, it got kicked back to her without any notification. And when we reached out to her to check on it, she said, hey, we have to have a phone call. So apparently they're changing their policy. They don't want the field reps to fill out these applications on behalf of their EMDs. They want the EMDs or deputy EMDs to fill out the information on their own. So we have the information. We're in the process of filling it out and submitting it back to Homeland Security and Emergency Management, where it'll be another few months before we get an answer on whether or not we're approved. There's generally not any roadblocks, but it
Sounds
just
like a
takes
bureaucracy,
process of-
a bureaucracy change.
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
So what kind of grants you thinking about applying for once you have them updated?
So once we have the initial one updated, again, I think Chief Remillard and I both have a pretty big need for critical communication infrastructure. Again, he talked about his radios on that side of town, our problems with our mobile radios and being outdated. I think that's probably where we start. Some other things to consider would be if we needed updated generators, any other sort of updates to the station and what we currently use as our emergency operations center. We can apply and ask for all of those things. They all fall within the bounds of emergency management.
How old is the generator at the school for our emergency operations center?
It's old.
2007.
There you go, that would be another.
Yeah.
But they're commercial generators that are made to last quite a long time.
2007, it's got 684 hours on it.
Oh, good job.
We check it every month.
Okay.
They got a record
As part of that emergency management, I always thought about, because we pulled it out of the original proposal, doing that second floor and getting that building on the first plan they adopted for that building. And the renovation, it had its own emergency management generator. That was all pulled out to keep that building more affordable. But if we could get a grant for something like that, to have a second center, because I know like now, the only area was probably the community center at the school that you'd have people in, but say something was up with that building or feature, it'd be nice to have a,
Secondary
use that
location.
second floor, and we have the heat system and
Yeah.
air conditioning figured out there now, so.
We both attended a disaster preparedness class for rural agencies. It was a little eye-opening for the both of us. We identified that we have a primary EOC, which would be pretty much the training room between the police department and the fire department. But we've never really been asked the question, like, what happens if that fails? What happens if that building's destroyed? Like, where do we go? So the redundancy planning for all of those things, and not just our side of it, but the things that we're statutorily obligated to the
Right.
citizens in town for, like, what happens if a tree falls on this building and takes out the town clerk's office? Right, we're still statutorily obligated to provide those services to our town residents, and how do we do that if that happens? So there's a lot of brainstorming and thinking that happened that after we took that class, and we do have a meeting scheduled in the very near future to meet with.
Like you guys like you said, something happens to your building, you can use it for your command center up there, even if the people are down at the
Yeah.
other building or vice versa, but.
Yeah, we're gonna meet with an
Something to
EM rep
keep.
coming up to get some ideas.
This the original writer?
No, this is a separate independent emergency management specialist, just to be able to get an independent review of where we're at as a town, what we have available to us, and if we had to focus thoughts and efforts and funds into one specific area,
So they
where
can-
would that be priority?
Right, in other words, what would be the best chance of getting something?
Yeah, so we have a meeting that's supposed to take place here within the next couple of weeks with that individual, and then aside from the communication stuff, we're gonna identify where we need to focus our efforts elsewhere.
I have no issue with that, gentlemen.
No, that sounds
Good
fine.
plan.
So the emergency management budget, one of the other things that we discussed as a part of this is when specifically natural disasters happen, there can be significant costs that come along with that. We have a $1,000 line item right now for emergency management, and I think John had historically used it for repairs or maintenance of the generator at the fire station, because that turns into the emergency operations center, and then maybe some small supplies here and there.
It stands on its own, it's not part of that budget.
One of the ideas that we had was potentially, instead of having that money being unused and going back into general funding, is to potentially establish some sort of a revolving account where that money can drop into. That would give us the ability to be able to make a large purchase for a natural disaster or something that happens without having to take it somewhere else out of budget. Now, I don't know the specifics of it, we haven't really thought about it, but we're thinking of if we keep
You know that we're supposed to keep close to 5% of our budget for an emergency like that.
Yeah,
And so we have those funds available as a town if there was an emergency sitting there.
We're talking about $400,000.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Five-
have to have a
closer to
special
five.
meeting,
Sitting
special
where?
town meeting.
It's all in our general fund.
Okay.
So that rainy day fund, in other years, some other select boards and selectmen have come out and say, I want to take $100,000 out of that, put it towards taxes. Another year they take another 100,000. When I first became a selectman, it was down to $27,000. The DRA likes us to see on towns that are very financially responsible, like Dunbarton is, to have a minimum of about 5% in there. We carried 5% for many years, and we've been keeping it just shy of $500,000 because we think that if you look at our overall budget keeps increasing, and really we'd probably have to be at $700,000 now. Well,
Sure.
we're very financially responsible, we're insured correctly, and everything else. So we
That
thought
5% includes the school's budget, the state's budget,
Right.
the county's budget, so theoretically, it's a.
much larger
13
number.
million
Yeah.
Instead of our 2.5.
Yeah.
But for the town end of it,
Sure,
But we
that
have
we
total
can
money
spend,
okay. Well, I wasn't aware of
but
that.
we've
That's-
got
that's
that
good
money
to know.
sitting there for emergency management. Because I think
Perfect.
what you're talking about would be hard to write that warrant article
Yeah,
so that it's revolving to spend in a thing,
But-
but we do have that money sitting
And it
there.
wouldn't take much, if emergency, we could, a special town meeting to basically withdraw it, and it would happen.
yeah. Okay, no, that's good to know. I wasn't aware of that, so I guess that pretty much covers where any of our thoughts are.
I just wanna make sure that, out of that $1,000 though, you should be paying your consultants who writing these things up, you can draw upon that.
So the consultant that we're working with through Homeland Security, that's a part of that EMPG grant, half of it, it's a 50-50 match grant. So $4,000 goes to the consultant that we're working with for the emergency operation plan.
Okay.
The other $4,000 of it goes to incurred costs on our side of it, basically to pay any of our community
Salaries and-
stakeholders'
Yeah.
salaries and
Okay,
their
good.
monies to be there. So that's all part of that 50-50 match grant.
So we'll, just so you understand, so we'll take monies back left over from all these different departments, from not having employees, not hiring a truck driver, whatever else. We'll take that money and we can put it towards the new budget that's coming up here to try and,
Offset.
keep that offset.
Yeah.
As much as we can to limit the taxpayers. We can put a portion of it to the rainy day fund.
Sure.
I know that we've had a lot of big purchases like the fire truck, the ambulance, and so we've kind of put our money down a little less on the rainy day fund. But there were times we funded, $120,000 in
I
there
mean,
to get it to where it needed
The
to
goal
be.
is, we don't ignore it, we put a little bit every year, even if it's a little bit, we
Yeah.
keep growing it a little bit.
I think we put 50,000 in it last year, just to keep it growing. It might not be a full 5% of our overall budget, but it's certainly 5% of the town budget.
Sure.
And
That's right.
all the other money we've been trying to put towards keeping these budget increases somewhat level.
Sure.
They never stay level, cause you pay for them this year, but next year that new police officer there, the next truck driver's there, your per diem people are there, and, so it goes down a road where you think you've got it covered and keeping it level, but it's really increasing up.
Yeah.
And, it's very important to watch for our townspeople, because a lot of the elderly people are not gonna be able to afford their tax bills shortly.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, we're keeping it level and they're going up $700 to $1,000 a year, it seems like it's a lot.
We are seeing a few abatement applications as well
Yeah.
for the tax bill.
Yeah, if we have that ability then.
Okay,
So, but yeah, I think, we certainly like to look at that and make sure we try for all those grants and whatever we can do to help you get those written up, if it's, help from Donna's department or
It's been a
whatever.
flat $1,000.
Okay, so it's not going to zero.
No, it's gonna be $1,000.
Okay.
Is that what you?
Yeah.
was-
Yeah,
So this
we're-
would, this would
we-
remain,
Yeah, knowing that, we'll leave the budget flat at $1,000.
And if you ever think you'd rather have it 5,000 instead of 1,000,
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
that's
shows
kind of a
justification.
no-brainer. It's really a placeholder, and it goes back to the general fund every year, so.
Sure.
Whether there's $5,000 sitting there or 5,000 more in the rainy day fund, at the end of the day, it's still
Yeah.
our
That makes
budget
sense.
to work with.
Good. Great.
But one thing is, if it's in that budget line item, you could use it for an emergency.
Well, John is
Without a
typically
town-
used
special
it
town meeting,
for
right.
a repair
Yeah.
on the,
On the
generator.
generator, yeah.
that was unexpected.
Repair on the generator either at
Or-
the station or the.
I like the idea of what Dave said, I think maybe we could up it to 5,000. That way you wouldn't have to, the savings you would get from not having to have a special town meeting if we needed to draw upon that.
We also have our building
Maintenance
maintenance,
fund.
which we've kept at about 150,000. We brought it up as high as 250 some years to get the town maintenance caught up. But we're getting a lot of buildings caught up now. We painted the transfer station building, we painted Jeff's this fall.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of small maintenance throughout the year, so we're starting to get our buildings in a lot better shape with them,
We have air conditioning upstairs in the library.
and heat up there now, so.
While we're talking about building maintenance, the chief and I did have a safety concern. Do you mind if we roll into that?
No.
You got Jeff waiting for you one more time though, remember?
No, go do your thing.
So, this is something that I realized after I started earlier this year. The station, particularly on our side of it being as old as it is, has a metal roof. There's no insulation. It's not designed to be load bearing. So the problem that I run into this time of year is that the snow comes off the roof, and it causes a hazard in a couple of different areas. I got hit by it a couple of times when I was shoveling in front of 3 of our bays last year. Thankfully, it was nice and light and fluffy. It didn't cause any serious brain damage that I'm aware of. That I know of. Yeah, I'm still waiting for people to tell me.
Your wife doesn't.
But yesterday I had a vendor at the fire station who was making an emergency repair on one of our overhead doors and was almost hit by a piece of ice that came off the roof as he was walking in the door. It was a pretty narrow miss, pretty big concern. And then I did take these pictures, which I can show you all, I'm sure you've seen it before, but to give you an idea of...
So we've been down that road a bunch of times now. We're gonna have to put a pretty major expense into that roof, because what happens is, that building, I don't know if you know, was moved from east where
Yeah.
and brought up. And that building, the structural steel in it is not strong enough to hold the snow on the roof. So if you put those ice
Those are,
picks that don't allow
Yeah.
the snow and ice to slide off it,
So where that wreath is, that was hanging on the wall, that was actually knocked down by ice, and then that's where the contractor almost got hit, right there, so.
yeah, and we've fixed the siding twice now that had the damages over by Chris's side.
Yeah.
And on the back of the building, on Chris's side, was all damaged from the ice coming down, rolling back towards the building.
So my biggest concern with this photo here is that where you're looking, all that snow is, that's where all the kids who are waiting to go to the memorial school and to the high school in Bow stand in the morning when they're waiting for their bus. All right. Right now, I think at the very least, what we could do would be to purchase some signs that we could hang on the wall. Caution, ice falling, keep clear, and then maybe potentially paint something on the ground to keep people aware. But I feel like we've been pretty lucky over the years by not having anybody actually get hit.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to paint a checkered mark area.
Yeah, just paint something in front of those three, on the ground in front of those 3 bays, and then on the wall, caution, falling ice.
Do you have any body outline paint?
It's the same thing, isn't it? That's what he's for.
But yeah, those signs, I think we should get on that right away. In fact, if you want to get those, we can use our building maintenance money for those signs.
Okay.
So if you can find some that you think are large enough and got a good font,
Yeah,
let's get them on order.
I think there's some value in getting probably 4 to 5 of them. I'd like
Yeah.
to do 3 of them across, in between each one of those bays.
Well, in between the
One on the
police
side
and
door.
fire,
I'd say the
That's mine,
signs,
and then one near his.
painting on the ground might be too late, but the signs you can implement now.
Sure, yeah, painting on the ground I'm not worried about now, but at the very least signage.
Yep.
I'm far less concerned about the liability side of things than I am about the
No,
physical injury.
the physical
Like,
injury, I agree.
the young kids that are standing in front of that station waiting for their bus, and they've been talked to about the school by, to stand off to the side of the station to make sure they're not standing in front of the bays, but when it's cold and the wind's howling, these kids do everything they can to tuck up against the building, stay under the overhang, stay out of the wind, and I think it's just inevitable at some point.
How much money do we have in a fund?
It's less than 20,000 with everything that's earmarked,
So,
but we've approved.
not enough to fix the roof, but
No,
enough
but
for
signs.
signs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've approved.
Yeah, that's a
few
no-brainer.
Yeah,
projects that keep
I'd say, let's make haste and let's get the signs out there.
Yeah.
To minimize the risk, has there ever been any roof raking done to get it off?
You typically don't have to, it comes off on its own. It's literally an uninsulated roof line
Okay.
And a steel roof, so
There's a thin, like
It doesn't
1 inch
take long.
insulation plastic.
yeah,
Okay.
it comes off on its own.
Okay.
And then, the downside to it is being uninsulated, it has the potential to actually build ice. So
Hey,
the stuff
now-
that comes off the door side is generally pretty heavy with ice. The stuff that comes off in front of the trucks, generally a little bit softer.
One thing I want to say, in front of those doors, that's a regular roof truss on that side. We might be able to put those pieces on there.
So it's drywalled. I don't know if it's regular truss, if it's
That
lightweight.
wing, I believe, is regular trusses because it's not that main original building.
Yeah, it's not the original, but I just don't know what the construction underneath is, whether it's lightweight or just regular truss. I would assume it's old enough where it's probably regular truss.
What
but-
about, can you raise the temperature in the building to make it melt faster?
Oh yeah, we can pump it up for sure.
No, but that
With
side,
air
that
dryer.
section there, we should put the signs there regardless, but I
Yeah.
do believe we can put those ice
A
blocks
couple
on that
hours
part.
of heat
On that side
is,
of it, yeah.
a couple,
I'm not sure support-wise, I'd wanna probably consult the structural engineer to make sure that they'd be okay with that. And as long as you guys are all right with that, but it's certainly a possibility where it's a more, a
Prevalent
regular
section at least,
Yeah.
that one section. We can't do any of the rest of the building.
Right.
I'm serious about the heat though, I mean, just raise the heat up, I mean,
It stays up pretty high in the bays, and the problem that we have with the heat is that it comes up literally through an old, gigantic square galvanized vent.
yeah,
And it blows out in one corner of the building, and then there are fans that are set up throughout the buildings to help try to blow and circulate the
Okay.
air around. So the hottest part of the building is the one that's closest to where the heat is. It's the closest to the police department, that corner. And then there are literally just fans up on the walls that push it around. So the coldest part of the building is over by the ambulance. It's kind of what
just a
we're
thought,
going
just a thought.
on. Yeah.
Can I just touch on building maintenance? We called JR into the office this week because we've been complaining about smells. And someone said this morning when they dropped their wife off that they thought it was the gasket under the toilet. So he stopped in and looked and went downstairs, and this is what our pipes look like downstairs. Can you see that?
I thought the only smell I heard about was at Woody's.
We thought it was dead animals, but he said that the pipes downstairs are getting really bad.
So is he gonna replace some of them?
Well, right now he's put on a paste or some kind of Look at that. See the big crack there? He said it's
Thank you.
getting
Kids
worse.
hanging around front of buildings are recent.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
That's where I'd start.
PTO
Somebody's
is
gotta
Place
educate.
some-
PTO is talking about
We have no
putting
money
like
for
a
it, so.
standalone structure.
This
like
year or
step
next?
on
I
or
think
something.
this year, if
I
he's
don't
got
know.
enough time.
Somebody's gotta educate them.
Yeah.
20
don't run
grand
the
sitting
whole-
in there.
That can't be
Yeah,
that.
I-
And
that
it's
big
a
a
hazard
job,
if you
okay?
gotta get the
Not that
trucks
big a
out of there
job,
if you have
no.
an emergency.
Okay,
Right?
great.
It's more than the ice.
You plumb a whole
For that
house
part
for
of it,
$18,000 or something, so
Concur.
that's
I
gotta
shouldn't
be.
be allowed to hang
Concur.
out. I mean, cause if you have an emergency, you gotta get your trucks out, how do you get them out?
Yeah, I
You gotta go
agree.
get the kids out of the way, and that's not it's not a hangout place for them.
Right.
And the school should be helping you with that.
Yeah, I plan to bring it up to Shelley again, just to send it out as a reminder to the parents, to the kiddos.
Shelley works here, she's a heck of a nice girl, very capable. The school board,
Yeah.
go right to that.
And the
Aren't
principal.
they supposed to build like a pergola or something?
We were just talking-
These are kids being
Has it
bust
on
a
their
ball though,
action
called
list.
principal
Are
of
they?
Yeah.
elementary.
Well,
No,
I mean,
what-
it's been on their.
They all come to our school
That's
also.
important.
They're under our care for
Oh, look
that
how we,
period of time.
look at us now.
Yeah, one of the other things that some of the kids started doing was actually going to the elementary building and hanging out by the door where we walked in. That one they definitely got a hold of. And so they'll
Portion of
get people
Dunbarton
back to that
kids.
corner.
What happens is you come on one bus
Yeah,
and you wait to go back on another bus to your home route, cause they switch
Plus,
buses in Dunbarton.
now, they drop kids off in front of an area they never used to go to,
oh,
because they've changed the configuration of the way they pick and drop kids off. Part of it is because every kid has to show up at the school nowadays. So they had to create an access way so the kids could get dropped off at the school, so they're not blocking the road, because the cars would literally block the road from here to Robert Rogers Road.
That's how our chief got sick.
Yeah, exactly. So they created this, and now when the kids swap in the buses, they kind of park right there, so instinctively, yeah, you're gonna hang out where the bus is gonna pick you up. So but I still, the school could give you a hand.
Well, it's a dangerous scenario. It's a matter of time, but someone's gonna get hurt.
But yeah, I agree, let's get the signs going. And, there's an access hole on that side of the building. We can look up in there and, take a look at those trusses, but I can also see when those were built, we probably have some designs of those trusses somewhere around. Maybe if you see John, ask him if that was built and if we have a file on it still. And I'll ask Donna
He
to
probably
look.
is the file. He's got it all up here.
I know when we were talking about those, that style of building there, and when it was moved and when it was brought there, that wing was done at a different time, and I believe they were wood trusses, so if
Yeah.
that's the case, they should be rated for
Probably
that.
pretty much a volunteer deal.
But the trusses should be rated for the snow load anyway, it's not like the other part of the building.
Not currently,
They keep upping the rate.
back then it was
So is the
probably
board okay,
25 per foot.
JR gives me a reasonable
Yes,
bid, just get that.
get it fixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
Consensus.
okay,
Jeff
Good
wants,
night. Thank you.
good night.
thank you guys,
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Yes.
And if you want that line item larger, just let us know.
For EM.
I wanna tell you this,
Actually,
Dave,
I
before I
wrote it.
forget, when I was plowing snow Tuesday night, right in front of Jose and Hubbard's house, big buck came right out of their yard.
No,
Yep.
and you waited this long to tell me?
I almost
Get
called
the gun out of my truck,
I almost called you at 2 in the morning, but
you should have.
he hit him with the side plow.
no, it scared me. It came out. I was like, whoa, what's that?
Roll them for me next time.
Can you read that? Or you want me to
Throw
read
out
it
my
to you?
glasses.
See, I can't, it doesn't print good, it's all.
This should be quick, you wanna wait till, yeah.
I can tell you what the amount is,
Nope.
but I'll get a real good copy.
Enterprises is the name of it.
Yeah, it's Hartman Enterprises, that's what I mean.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Hartman Enterprises out of Exeter, New Hampshire,
Yes.
for the sum of $37,980 to mobilize his equipment and do the on-site crushing at the gravel pit on Kibble Pond
And
Road
that-
for
Gives us 4
the
days.
town of Dunbarton.
And it specifies that in it, but it's.
And the process
And you'll
existing.
use them for the whole 4 days, even if it
Yes.
runs out of a pile.
Yeah, we
Let
got
me-
enough.
Let me finish your motion, guys. The
I see.
process existing on-site materials down to 1.5 inch minus as discussed, 4 days at $8,900 each day. operators and all the fuel included. Motion's been made, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and second, any other discussion you guys wanna continue?
Yeah, $8,900 times four, oh, there was a setup charge.
Yes, the delivery, yeah.
Mobilization of the
8,900 times 4
equipment,
is-
23 something, I
Yeah,
believe it
okay.
was.
2380 was the
It
mobilization.
was a
To
mobilization,
move
okay.
his gear in.
Yeah,
Yep. On top of it.
that's the only question that I would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you already answered, if the pile takes
Yes.
less than 4 days, you'll
Cover.
continue to
You're
use,
gonna have to stop him.
this is discussion. You'll
He's
continue
asking
to
somebody
use-
can give him the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Hang
enough
on.
regular gravel, so they will give us 4 days of work.
Yeah,
Okay,
I already seconded.
motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
You know you asked him that during our discussion.
Thank you, Jeff. for
Yeah,
getting
I'm
that.
just clarifying for the notes. Now that
I
the official,
I printed it off my email, it's all messed up. It's like you cut and pasted it.
It'll probably print just fine.
No, it won't, I printed it.
I can show it to you printed.
No, that's
It
good.
looks the same.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
No
Did
problem.
you do a screenshot of that? Did you send that to me?
Yeah, I'll get a regular document.
Okay, got it.
So you use the wrong kind of face, huh?
Or they just make-
Crush it.
Oh, good. Cheaper than-
Outstanding leave time?
not cheaper than-
do we,
That's-
We're gonna table that until we have the,
Yeah, he wants to talk about.
yeah,
that.
can we just do a,
Non-public?
no, this is just a EMT hire that,
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Very- yeah.
So I
on-call
had-
EMT hire.
So back before the board, we have the fire chief.
Yes. So Chief Pilgrims, have an application for a new town resident who would like to become a volunteer for the department. He lives on Rangeway Road. He is a paramedic, which will bolster our service. He's an experienced paramedic, primarily practiced out of state in South Carolina or North Carolina. But he is currently working full-time for the Elliott Hospital at the New England EMS Institute as their program manager. So he runs the school, which includes EMT, AEMT, and paramedic programs, along with other specialty service programs like pre-hospital ultrasound, critical care transport, etc. So he's well qualified, particularly as an educator. So his benefit on our department would extend beyond just the practice at a paramedic level, but also as an additional benefit to help with EMS training and education. He is a certified instructor coordinator, so if we ever did identify that we wanted to host our own class for an entry-level program of EMR, EMT, whatever we wanted to do, we could actually become a host site now that we have a training coordinator available to us, or an instructor coordinator available to us. So here's his application. Name is Joshua Ravelo. Great guy. I can get him in here to meet with you if you'd like, but I spoke with Dana. I endorse hiring him.
I think we should go off your suggestion, just get him in.
Yep.
do we do
I
a
agree.
background check or
Yeah.
anything like that on him? No.
I can so we'll be able to waive the physical fee. He gets an annual physical through the Elliott Hospital, which he'll be able to provide to us. So we won't incur a physical cost.
Can I take that and make a motion?
Please do. For reference, he'll be hired at
Tonight.
he'll be hired at the firefighter EMS
Spread 'em
rate.
around.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire Joshua Arevalo as a paramedic / EMS for the town of Dunbarton.
I'll second the motion.
And effective date will be, okay, the discussion, what was the effective date will be?
Effective date can be tomorrow.
Okay. Motion been made, second, all in favor?
No discussion. Aye.
Aye. On one, wow. Thank you. Take care, Brandon. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you,
Granted,
Brian.
was thumbs up on this gentleman for sure, from
Absolutely.
you.
So Josh is not only a new resident, he's not new to me, he's been a colleague of mine for a few years now.
Okay, so you know him.
I do,
Okay.
I know him personally.
I wanna make sure you're giving a thumbs up.
I did my best to try and sneak a job application into his signing paperwork for the house, but I didn't quite get it there in time. But he actually approached me and asked about the service before he had even moved into town.
Deliver good news tomorrow.
When did he move in?
It's been about a month and a half,
Oh,
maybe?
so that recent,
Very recent.
okay.
I
And I
think,
think having someone that is at that level of, has training, certification and expertise is in itself a big value to the town.
We're just not gonna pave his road though. Don't get him, we're not paving the Rangeway Road.
He's at class 6 at the bottom, right?
He is, yeah, the tractor came with the house, so he knows he's clearing his own
Is
stuff.
that, was that the house with the turret on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, is that one?
yeah. I looked at that years ago, when I first came into town, I was looking at that.
It's
That's
a neat design.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was available back
Karen
then.
on it.
It's
It's
got a
like a
turret,
Queen Anne type.
Yeah, it looks like
like a castle.
a castle.
All the way down there,
Has
Liska's
has a
old
gun,
house.
has a gun turret at the top. Yeah,
The,
All the way down on the
a
right.
lot,
Yeah.
a lot
Liska.
of, lot of landscaping.
I can do
Yeah.
that on the
Right.
18th.
I remember seeing it online.
Well, it was,
Show up for
and,
sale.
I do too, and it was available in 2008 when I was looking at houses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I gave
It's been
them
on the
all
market
those
for a long
copies.
time.
So tell them that
Okay.
in your
I'm sure it
packet
was sold and then
to
came back.
familiarize
I mean,
Yeah, but, yeah, this
Yeah.
time,
For sure.
yeah.
it was probably overpriced, so that's why it was sitting there.
So I have two other things. One, we're gonna, I'll table till the 18th, just because I actually have a meeting on Tuesday to get some more information with our billing company. But basically from the state of New Hampshire Insurance Department, two laws passed recently. One of them was a law that eliminates our ability to balance bill somebody for an uncovered portion of an ambulance transport. That to some other smaller agencies in the state of New Hampshire could be crippling, particularly because they rely on billing to run the service. The second bill that came out is this one, which is House Bill 245. This bill allows, it's a 2-year interim piece that allows agencies, if you sign up for it, it's not an automatic piece, you have to apply for it, but to be able to bill specifically Medicare patients at 3.25 times the normal contracted Medicare rate, which would cover the gap that the patients would normally be paying on top of. So it allows us to continue to get revenue, and in some cases, maybe more revenue than we would originally get if we sent them a normal bill. So I'll have more information on it. As long as it's gonna work for us, I intend to apply for it. It'll turn out to be, I don't know exactly how much, I'm still waiting for a report to find out how much historically we've balance billed over the last 3 years.
But we can't balance bill any longer.
We'll no longer be able to balance.
So
bill.
whatever the insurance they have is that what we get.
Yeah, so if, for instance, if we send them an ALS1 bill for $1,200.
Right.
And they have Medicare and the contracted Medicare rate is $400, we'll get $400 and we won't be able to bill for the balance of that. This 2-year interim House bill is the gap to the, hopefully the permanent fix to take place in January of '29, which they're working on currently. They're trying to figure out how to sustain ambulance service without
Crippling towns.
crippling towns and crippling individuals and being billed directly to
Right,
them. So,
right, so it's gotta be a happy medium somewhere.
yeah, so I'll know more about this by the 18th. We'll talk a little bit more, but just
Okay.
for your awareness, this
You
is in your
have that in
packet.
your packet, do you want it electronically so you can read it?
Um,
What you're talking about?
As a provider, I hated balance billing because we can't
You
do
okay
it.
with
We have to accept, when you accept an insurance
Let's
company,
hear somebody
that's what
else.
you get, you don't get
I
any
have it in
more.
mind.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. The only other thing that I did want to talk about tonight, since it was mentioned, this is in your packet as well, this is a contract for emergency ambulance service. So this is a very basic template, it'll still need to be reviewed by our attorney. But over the past year, despite my efforts to take on more responders, particularly EMS responders, and be able to manage our ambulance calls, the one thing that I'm seeing is that we still don't have the availability that we've had in years past. Volunteerism is going by the wayside, and by that I mean people's time. The number one responder that I have in my department is a former fire chief who's probably over the age of 70 years old, and at times in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning, he is the only person that shows up to a call, and it's not sustainable. So despite how many people I take on in a volunteer fashion, I still have no way to guarantee
That you can have coverage.
that ambulance is getting out. Right now, we have a mutual aid system. The way this works, when we're dispatched, 6 minutes later, we get what's called a retone. 3 minutes after that, at the 9-minute mark, we get dispatched again on our second retone with a mutual aid ambulance automatically. So we have a mutual aid system that's in place right now that gets us a backup ambulance. The only issue is that ambulance gets started 9 minutes after the original dispatch, which is sometimes about 11 minutes after the original 911 call for help.
That's a long
It's a
time.
very uneasy feeling for me as a fire chief to know that somebody in our town is requesting help and that we're not getting out to it. Contract for service. It took me a while to be able to even ask for this because of a few things. I'm trying to bolster the service. We're buying equipment to be able to use to supply this service to residents, and we've also just purchased a brand new ambulance, right? Be clear, this contract for service does not change the way that we operate at all. What this basically says is that we're gonna contract with a neighboring agency. That neighboring agency, if they come into our town and they provide that service, we will pay them a one-time flat rate per service, right? But what we get out of this is that they will be dispatched automatically with us at the exact same time. So we don't change the way we practice. Both ambulances get dispatched. If Dunbarton providers are available, we get to the station, we get into our ambulance, we sign on the air responding, we cancel the mutual aid ambulance. No cost to the town, no cost to the patient. We continue our service, we transport a patient, we get the billing, it stays in
But
town.
are they full-time?
They are.
So
Well,
how are you ever gonna beat them?
Yeah, I mean, I can see 2 ambulances showing up and you're gonna get billed for it.
No, I can see them never, if they're sitting at the station and these guys gotta come in, suit up and call. You're never
So
gonna-
I don't even necessarily have to get to the station before I wave off another ambulance. We have a program called I Am Responding that most of our members are by my order supposed to use on every time they come on a call. If I look at I Am Responding and I have 3 EMTs that are on their way to the station, I can get on the radio before I even get there, I can cancel the mutual aid ambulance and we can handle the call ourselves.
Does the cancellation have to happen before they roll?
Nope. Cancellation can happen anytime. And with this, the one thing that we haven't, that the chief of the fire department, Bo, and I have not established yet, are the very exact and specific circumstances that are gonna be considered a billable run and a
Right.
non-billable
Okay.
run. Right, so if they, even if they arrive on scene, apologies, even if they arrive on scene and we're on scene with them and they stand by as we have one EMT on scene who processes a non-transport, they still won't bill for that because they haven't done anything. All right, so we still have to hammer out the exact details of what's gonna be billable, what's gonna be not billable. But the one thing we did identify, a couple of things. Quarterly billing, they'll be able to take however many runs they've done for us in a quarter, send us the bill for it. The rate, $550 is what is the agreed upon mutual aid paramedic intercept rate in the compact. And we agreed upon that as an acceptable fee per call.
So it's a zero-sum game, you're not really losing anything.
Yeah, you're losing revenue if they take the patient.
Oh, if they take the patient, but if you have no one responding,
That's right, you save the
Yeah,
money.
if we have no one responding, we're not losing anything.
You're not losing
We haven't-
anything,
We
and
haven't
you get
lost anything.
quicker
We haven't had
response.
the
Yeah.
opportunity.
You get
Yeah.
11-minute or 9-minute.
yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If
So,
we're-
but if they respond,
If they respond,
you said you're gonna do it quarterly,
quarterly they will bill us.
so say they did 10 calls and they're $550 each.
Mhm.
So you got 5,500.
Yep.
Any of that covered by what they collected or not?
Nope.
So
They're-
the
they're
550,
billing-
just so you know, the 550 is above and beyond.
Right,
Yes, yeah. So $550 is what we pay them. They do their own billing. Now, the town of Bow has 2 different billing rates. They have a resident rate and they have a non-resident rate. What I have made sure that we put in this agreement is that if they do provide this contracted service to us, they will bill our residents at their resident rate. They will not be considered non-residents. So we do get the lower rate with that.
That's a good deal.
Yeah,
But we do get none of the billing. The billing is all theirs. When they provide the service and they do the transport, they bill the patient's insurance just like we would if
Right,
we had them.
That's why they're willing to take zero bill if they show up and don't do anything, because.
They're getting like a double pay.
They're getting $550 extra.
No, not necessarily. If they don't do anything, they don't get paid.
I know that.
Yeah,
But
But
if they-
on a call that they do transport, they're getting $550 extra.
they're getting $550 from
and
us.
plus what they bill.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're,
that's what I
but
mean,
you're
extra
expecting,
over everything
I'm
else.
with you.
at some point, you're expecting that if they come on site, you might get a $100 fee or something.
Nope.
No, it'll be either 0 or
It's
$550.
either 0 or $550.
And it is now, but you guys haven't quite fine-tuned that if they show up there.
If they arrive on scene and they don't do anything, they will not be paid. Yeah, that's not anything I'm willing to
So
negotiate with
he's
them
not,
for.
yeah, you're not suggesting any type of a
There's, yeah, it's gonna be a
variation,
one-time fee, there's no
a
partials,
sliding
there's
scale
no,
or anything. It's
Isn't
gonna
that
be
similar to
0 or
the mutual aid
$550.
response that?
just the paramedic intercept. So
Oh.
paramedic intercept, if we call for a paramedic intercept, if we don't have any paramedics available, where they draw the line is if a paramedic arrives and evaluates the patient. If they perform an assessment of the patient, that is considered an advanced life support skill. Regardless of whether or not they say, you know what, I think the patient looks okay, we don't need to go with you to the hospital, they'll still be able to bill us at $550.
Oh.
Right, so that advanced life support assessment, the paramedic's assessment, is a billable item. That's where the line is drawn with the paramedic assessment, or with the paramedic intercept. With us, we're gonna hammer out these details, but if their paramedics or their service has to show up, if they have to perform an evaluation, and whether or not they transport or they don't, if they show up and we have nobody who's responded to a call, and they don't transport the patient, we'll still get a bill because they had to do work. They had to evaluate the patient.
This is on mutual aid.
On paramedic intercept,
No, this would be on this agreement.
on that one.
Okay.
On this agreement, like, so this.
I see, yep,
It
yep,
has
no,
to
I get
cover,
that.
it has to cover whether or not they
They do something.
Yeah, so if they show up simultaneously with us and we have EMS providers on scene, we do the assessment, we process a
So
non-transport.
the win here is we're basically, instead of relying on mutual aid, we're relying on a third-party for-profit agency who might respond quicker to help our residents.
No, so consider, mutual aid is something that's requested when we're not available.
Right.
This would be considered automatic aid. It's the exact
Yeah.
same company that we would get if we didn't show up. They're just showing up and being dispatched 11 minutes quicker.
Right.
9 to 11 minutes quicker.
In lieu of mutual aid coming in.
You're having a heart attack, that's a huge amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
Well,
don't they say the first 9 minutes or something
No,
is?
what I don't understand.
Any of it, heart
No,
attack,
but,
stroke,
yeah.
but we have mutual aid, right? So what's the advantage of this over mutual aid again?
The advantage of this is they get started automatically at the same time.
Okay, so it's
the
a
time
quicker
saving.
response.
100%.
When does mutual aid they're gonna respond, can mutual aid still respond to it, or will they respond to it?
No, so the way it works, whenever we get a 911 call, we're dispatched. Right now, we get dispatched.
Okay,
Again, at 6 minutes, if we haven't signed on responding, they send out another tone to alert us that there's a call. They call it a retone,
okay,
right? At the 9-minute mark, they do a second retone, and that's when they start mutual aid,
okay,
right? If we get dispatched for a second ongoing medical call, mutual aid goes automatic to that because they know our only resource, our one ambulance in town is busy. They'll send mutual aid.
now, all right,
automatic.
now, how does this commercial one interfere,
It's not commercial. It's the town of Bow.
oh, it's a town of Bow.
It's the town of Bow. It's the town
Okay.
immediately next to us.
You said they get toned the same time
They get
Dunbarton
toned at
does.
the exact
Now,
same time.
let me ask you this, how many times last year were you guys not able to make it?
58.
58
Ooh,
times.
that's a lot of times.
58 out of 188, 190.
That's not actually that bad.
It's 25%. It's pretty rough.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Yeah, I
not good,
remember
but
you
it's,
said that
it's,
before.
so it's easy to do
Do
the
you have
math
money
now,
in the
right?
budget? Are you putting the money in the budget for that?
No, so this is the other part of the
58
conversation.
times.
So, one warrant article I have for $75,000 for a CIP, right? The second warrant article that I'm gonna have to write is going to be to reword the ambulance special revenue fund to be able to be withdrawn from to cover this cost.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the plan. If we agree and go into this contract, and let's just say they do 10 runs in the first quarter, and we have $5,500 that we have to pay to the town of Bow, right?
I think it should be part of your annual budget as a fee to a different department, like, we pay Goffstown for dispatch. You know, it's a fee like that to me. To use that fund out of a warrant article and have it to be a live amount, I don't think is
Because what you might deplete, that's your equipment fund in the future.
but I'm not worried about it being an equipment fund, even if we're using that service, we'll probably end up going more that way. I'm just looking at the 58 calls at 550 is 31.9. And I'm supposing that if you had 180 calls, it's gonna go from 58 to probably 100 calls that they respond to and are there quicker. Right? Cause the 58 you didn't make it to went to the 9 minutes and then they came. So now,
Correct.
after 3 minutes, they could be
Well, and consider
halfway
this.
there.
So 58 is the number of times that mutual aid was called.
Right.
That doesn't mean they actually made it to the scene. The other factors that are included in this are the number of times where we were able to make it out and we canceled their response, which was a handful of times. So 58 doesn't necessarily represent the number of times
Oh,
where they took a medical call from us. Some of them are canceled en route because we responded. and took
But
the stuff on
58
our own.
would probably be a good number to start with, right? Out of 180 calls, I got to imagine they're going to be quicker than us 58%. I mean, 58 times at least.
Well, it's not about being quicker. I know you keep going back to that, but that's not what it's about. They will be out the door immediately, right? And then we will still respond. But again, as soon as we identify that we have enough people to take this call, we will cancel them.
And this is Bow Fire Department,
This is the Bow Fire Department.
but they're part of our mutual aid too.
They are. So mutual aid is a tiered system. So we have 5 different zones
Right.
that the town is divided up into. 3 out of the 5 zones, the first ambulance called in is Bow. The second ambulance called in is Concord. The third ambulance called in is Goffstown. The fourth ambulance is called in as Ware.
Understood.
And that separates and changes based on the zone that you're in the town. And I can send you guys this stuff as well if you want to look at it.
So will that
One
stay the
zone
same?
one zone to the northwest.
Yeah.
Ware is our primary ambulance. Bow is the secondary. Hopkinton is the third, et cetera, et cetera.
And so Bow would become, and this entity of Bow would become, would roll automatically.
To everywhere in our town. The one thing that I was not going to be willing to do was to break the town up into sections and zones based on
Be too
contract and
tough,
service.
yeah.
I only wanted to deal with one entity for contracting service,
Gotcha.
and that was it. So Bow will be dispatched automatic to any EMS call that we get sent to anywhere in the town.
Is Bow looking at this to make money
Uh,
or provide service? It looks like it's a,
I think they're looking at it as they're capable to do it. They're
they
looking
have
at the
excess
potential-
capacity and they're,
Yeah, so the Bow does about 1,200 calls a year, somewhere
Okay.
between 1,100 and 1,200 calls a year.
so to pick up 50 from Dunbarton is nothing.
No, and they're not picking anything up, they're already doing it.
Right, they're already by
That's
mutual
the
aid.
thing.
The only thing different is they're rolling out sooner.
They're rolling out sooner, and they get $550 for the ones that they actually make it to and they do something for.
Right.
Yeah. I could run some numbers to make it a little more realistic from you. I can run numbers and eliminate the number of times that a mutual aid service was canceled before they got to us where we handled it on our own. So you get a more realistic idea.
But I can see it costing us 30,000 the first year.
I don't think it'll cost us anywhere near that.
No?
No. No, not especially with the fact that I've taken on 4
lot
or
more
5
people.
additional call members who have EMS licenses.
Right.
So this is a tough thing to predict based on last year's call numbers compared to this year's because we've had a change in service, we've had an increased number of call members.
And we didn't even have the EMS before last year.
That's
What do you
right.
Per diem
This
people.
is
The per
first
diems,
year.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
so,
mean?
So picture, a call that comes in the middle of the day.
We
Now
have
we
guys
have a per
there.
diem and myself available. It's an immediate cancellation, there's no cost.
But at night when there's
Still
no,
considered a
when
mutual
there's,
aid run because they get a ticket for it, but
when no one's available in the evening,
when no one's available in the evening, somebody gets there.
So realistically, all we need to do is figure a way to pay for this for 2026, whether we put it in your budget or,
100%.
So what he was getting at initially, when he approached me, was that he wanted to reword the expendable, no, it's not an expendable, it's the ambulance special fund. Currently, right now, the only withdrawal, aside from the warrant article requests, is the billing service that we have from Comstar. They get the information about the insurances, the bank, the hospitals. We don't have to handle any of that, and we might get $194 bill once every 6 weeks, and that's what we withdraw from that ambulance fund. What he's hoping to do is to expand on the wording so that he can include this kind of ambulance, because it falls into that,
So that's currently being withdrawn out of that fund?
it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the billing service is paid for by the fund itself.
Right.
how is that worded on that
Yeah.
warrant article?
I don't know.
I don't think we're doing something right there.
The auditors have asked and checked into it,
I think what we should do, we don't have much time here, but we should check with the DRA
yep,
and then also run it in front of our town attorney,
correct.
just to make sure. Because I just wouldn't have a line item in your budget, just like we're doing, whether it's mutual
See,
aid
I
or
don't
doing.
mind, I don't mind having a line item in the budget too. I mean, I think that's fine. And the thing is, I think the public will definitely go for it.
What do you think you'll hit number-wise this year? What number would you be?
What would you budget for it? 20,000?
It's so tough for me to tell with the number of responders that I've gained, and
But you know what, you can put a line item in your budget, and if you go over, you're stealing from one of your other, maybe don't buy a new computer this year.
the reality is we
whatever
already
else.
have a line item in it. The paramedic intercept line item is $550 per call.
Right,
If we change the name of that to paramedic intercept / contracted service or whatever you want to do,
Right.
and just increase that number, that's there,
Yeah.
right? And if it doesn't get used, it goes
I just thought
backwards.
that's cleaner and neater, And,
It is, but it's also, there's the sticker shock of the
That's
much larger
huge,
number
yeah.
of asking for it.
but listen to this, we do a CIP for that ambulance, right?
No. That
No,
ambulance,
that,
the ambulance.
that
that
fund's
ambulance
all
was paid for out of
so.
that ambulance revolving fund.
I was thinking if we did the CIP, we could lower the CIP and put it in that line item there and cover it the same way.
Well, but if we lower the CIP, then we would have to discontinue being able to provide the service at
Well,
some
the
point.
other thing too is to create a warrant article to fund $30,000 for a period of up to 5 years. So it's non-lapsing, so if you don't have any calls in 2026, but you suddenly have
A
the
spike.
same money there
Yep.
for 5 years.
I just soon put it in his
30,000
budget.
I
per
don't-
year, or?
No, you do one article
One
and you
time?
have it expire in 5 years, so. it
I'd
will
just
never-
soon do it in his budget, cause then you look at it every year and you adjust it how
Well,
you
the thing
need
is,
it.
the problem with you is, let's say he has a high year, you can't adjust it. I mean, that's it. You have to do another warrant article.
Yeah, but it's not likely, like you said, do you think it'd be over 30,000 in 1 year?
I honestly have to look, I have to run reports and look at.
Why don't you run all your numbers and let's look at, before we end the budget season, adjusting that line item name and putting it in your budget. I'd rather explain that at town meeting than a warrant article, which is gonna flag everybody the wrong way, because when you try to expend out of a warrant article like that, it's a lot different than buying a truck or buying something where you have a fixed cost from a vendor.
It's nebulous.
That you set it, and then it's gone away. Those rolling warrant articles, I don't think is something that the DRA really cares for.
Oh, no, they do. Are you talking about the 5-year thing? They want you to write your articles. If you're gonna have the same article on your warrant every year, they prefer to see it lapse in 5
But
years.
if you're putting something in and you're gonna have it every year, it should be in your budget, not in a warrant.
Right, $30,000 for 5 years is kind of low. I mean, that's
Right,
true.
right, you're gonna run out.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Well, but the advantage to having it be a 5-year thing is that at year 2, we can evaluate it and ask for more money if we needed to.
But if it's in your
But that's
budget, we
a-
reevaluate
that's
it every
another
year.
warrant article.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, I like the idea of putting it
If
right
you
in
put
the
it in your budget, you look at it every year and then you come to the selectmen. And then the only questions you'll get are at town meeting if you adjust that number up and down.
Yeah, why are you adding so much money? Because when you die, you get your heart attack in the middle of the night, I wanna make sure someone's there for you.
I'm getting to that point, I need somebody there quick. 9 minutes, I'm gonna be.
Well, where you live in town, it's still 11 minutes.
Bo is right on the line.
No, he's not far from Goffstown.
Yeah, but he's not getting Goffstown.
Bo, go outside, somebody
Because
come.
Bo's responding.
Okay, and that's gonna be under the paramedic intercept? We're gonna change the name to say that, and what?
Paramedic intercept / contracted service.
And how much is it in there now?
Contracted service. Okay.
That's the one that I just decreased.
Well, okay,
That's the one that I just decreased to $2,200. It took a $1,300 decrease.
Right, but we're gonna.
So you'll kind of take a better guess as to what.
I'm gonna take a better guess at the number of times I think that we'll have them.
And if
actually
you want,
transport for us.
Send
And
an
I
email
can-
to Lean and she can forward it to us. So in our next meeting, we can just have a budget discussion about that.
It'll be like 2 or 3 reports that I would have to run, but I can tell you how many times any one of our mutual aid ambulances have come into town and done a transport for us on our behalf.
That's what we're actually looking at.
I can give you a realistic number for 2025 right now.
And then we'll just do the numbers and we'll see how it comes on your budget. But the nice part about being in your budget, like I said, is you have other lines to draw from to make it work that first year. And then if it doesn't work, you can adjust it up or down.
And those are probably certain draws off of this. If it triggered mutual aid, that means you didn't have anyone.
Not necessarily.
Oh, really?
No, I mean I could have had. So the way it works in the state of New Hampshire, you need 2 EMS licensed personnel in order to be able to transport somebody to the hospital.
Okay.
So if I have one EMT that shows up, I'll give you a great example. I saw John Wigan at 2 o'clock in the morning the other morning.
Mhm.
I was working in Bow. We came in mutual aid, and John was the only responder who came out and got in our ambulance to go to a medical call.
Okay.
So we came in.
And if he's able to do service but not transport,
Because you need 2.
we wouldn't pay Bo.
No, you would, because there's only one EMS license on
Oh.
our ambulance, so
Right.
Bo would 100% get paid for it. They would get the billing, and so this patient.
Oh, I'm talking about if there wasn't a
Oh,
transport.
if there wasn't, right? If John evaluates that patient and they don't need to go anywhere,
Yeah, I feel fine.
we could stand back as long as there was no evaluation needed on our part.
Got it.
Then John
Yep,
evaluates it, he handles everything. Even if Bo shows up on scene and guys stand around and agree with him, It's still Dunbarton's call, there's no bill to the town.
I agree with you, though. If it was less than 9 or 11 minutes, it'd be one thing, but that's a long time.
Yeah.
In
You're
901
laying
life,
there
it
not
sure is,
breathing.
And that's how the voters are gonna approve it. Really, it's you're improving the quality of care delivered to voters. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't care about the money. The money is a nothing thing for me. I have a hard time as the fire chief swallowing the fact that
People can die.
we're supposed to provide a service
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're not able to do it.
Absolutely, I totally
I
concur.
don't, I have a hard time swallowing the 9 to 11 minute wait for somebody else to even be started, never mind get here.
Yeah.
Because there are times where, depending on where we're at in town, that 11 minutes, that 9 to 11 minutes goes by, the mutual aid company is started, and then they still have a 15-minute ride. We're talking about a half an hour before a transporting ambulance arrives at your door.
At that point, we should tell them, you're having a heart attack, we're not
No,
coming.
what you do then is call the hearse.
You're gonna be dead.
You hear what I said, Dave?
Huh?
After, you call the hearse at the end.
Yeah, be too late. Okay,
I think you can sell it. I mean, but sell it to the voters as far as the quality, what you're trying to do. You're trying to eliminate a 9-10 minute wait.
So one of the questions that could come up, and I don't, just think about maybe how to answer this, is what if someone says, have we been living with this deficiency for,
yes.
years? And if so someone might say, are we worse off now, or have we been living with this forever?
I think it's been a steady decline, right? The decline in volunteerism has
That's the answer.
And that's the, yeah, I think
has
that's
related.
probably
yeah,
the primary
decline in
answer.
volunteerism has specifically.
You
turned
have to be
into-
careful, because you just got all kinds of new people.
Well, but
No,
that's
but
just it.
that's to
Well,
back
that's what
up,
makes it tough for me
right?
to put into a budget.
Right.
I just got 3, potentially 4 new EMS providers that have started.
I was gonna have you help Chris to find some people to work for him.
I've been trying.
No, but
I really have.
that's a good counter to say, you know what, we feel we're vulnerable right now, or we have been, but we've added this staff to
So
try and eliminate
It gives us
the need for this.
Yes.
And aside from the number of
Reduces
times
vulnerability.
where,
Yeah,
aside from the number of times where we've only had just one responder show up, the number of times where it's only been 2 responders is just as rare. So it's been either John by himself, or John and me, or John and Jackson Crosby, or John and Jake Andrews, or John and Mark Lang, right? The number of times where John has been the key has been huge.
yeah,
And that's a resource that I don't know how long we have for.
yeah, yeah.
John's a
And
great
aging-
guy,
and
like I
aging-
said, he's
and
my,
aging
getting along in the
number one-
tooth.
he's my number 1 responder, but I don't know how much longer he wants to do this.
Yeah.
Honestly, he'll probably do it until I kick him out of the building, but.
Okay, that being said, I think that funding
he's
it
a-
through your
or
budget
he's
is the
a
best
patient.
way.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
get some
and
numbers.
I will tell you, as you'll see, Jeff does it. If you have something in your budget, you get a lot less red flags than putting a warrant article in there as well and have people kicking the bucket down the road.
Warrant draws more attention to it too.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean,
Look what happened
it can
to
draw
the
as much
bar.
attention to it as it wants. I'm happy to explain how and why and the reason.
Right,
that
but
I'm
we'll
doing it,
explain it all, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a, boom, here's your warrant article thing, and
And the thing is, and this is a first year we're implementing this, it may go up, it may go down next year. It depends upon how many volunteers we get.
One of my only other concerns with putting it in my budget was the fact that this is year 1, technically budget season number 2, where I'm the new face in town who's standing in front of our town residents and staring at year 1 a 90% increase.
I've been
in year 2.
when I ran
40%.
for re-election, my last re-election, I stood in front of there was a question and answer thing, and they asked me what was the biggest problem in town, Dunbarton Basin. I said the fire department. I said lack of volunteers. We just don't. We can't afford. We cannot. We're not running a good volunteer fire department anymore, and we're going to have to go. We're going to have a full-time fire department. That's going to be a major hit. That was my campaign mantra, and I stand by that because we knew about this 5-6 years ago. John was warning us about this. It's just we're the last volunteer fire department in this entire area.
Yeah.
We don't have. they're
That's
not
why
very
the
fun.
question of.
And I will tell you, we are the only volunteer fire department that actually still runs their own ambulance service. Every other volunteer agency has either completely contracted out their service and doesn't respond at all, or they're a paid per diem / call service.
what are we skipping here? to
So
get to this?
it's all about how you provide
Jason,
adequate
I'm
services
not
to the
gonna
population.
I'm not gonna have time. I
I'm
just-
with you.
This is dedication time.
And that's
before.
the question that I asked is something that, are you just the new guy saying you wanna,
Listen,
I mean, spending more money is one thing, right? But if you actually say, no, I'm actually concerned,
Yeah.
without throwing previous administration under the bus, I'm
But-
concerned that we're not.
Yeah, but
and it's not even previous administration, it's volunteerism. This
Yeah,
is
and
the decline
and
that's.
you have an answer to that,
Yeah.
which
New
is,
homes, population growth, you know, just a lot of combination of things.
Yeah, I have a hard time with the delay that it takes to get appropriate care to somebody who's requesting.
that's a perfect talking point.
so, as does Dave.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Okay,
Well, we're not done, because that was critical, it had to be before you,
I know.
the liability part.
Anything else I can
Thank you,
answer for
Brandon.
you?
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank the board, appreciate you guys.
Okay,
Have a
take
good
care
night.
now.
Thank you.
Accrued liability,
Yeah, so, at the end of October, we sent out a memo to department heads or full-time people, reminding them that the end of the year is
Woody
fast
called me
approaching
this,
and-
actually he texted me Sunday and said, I have my list of,
It's in there, his request.
oh,
is
did he
in-
get it in? Okay.
Everything's on, attached.
I hadn't gotten it yet, so,
So those are the outstanding ones. Brandon still has 1 week, he's taking the last week of Christmas off. Donna's requested her 45 hours, she said that,
Woody has 55 hours of vacation still?
yeah,
You have
No.
43.
yeah. Is it
And-
55 of vacation, or is that also comp time? Comp time is mandatory payout,
Comp time is 40.
because that's
40.
overtime reserved.
So, on vacation time, we got Woody has 55, Lane has 43,
And 2 personal.
Brandon has 41,
He's
and
gonna
Donna
use
White has
his.
45.
She's requesting, all their requests are behind that work.
They're all requesting payment,
Yeah.
and they're all
I'm gonna try to
signed.
take 3 days
no,
off.
you said, where is the requested amount? Is
And-
it,
and underneath that cover sheet, that's the report that comes out of the payroll.
Okay.
so that's only the accrued time.
And
that's shown.
personal time, Lean has 16,
Yeah,
and comp time, I already told you, Woody has 40. So, received. We'll go and get these out of the way. This time I have 6 days vacation time on the books, as I anticipate working with the new hire during the month of December. Let's see that I'll be taking time off, so Donna's requesting hers. Board of Selectmen pays the remainder of Richard Lee's. 55 hours vacation, 40 times comp time. I will continue to use as much time as possible, however, I do not believe I will be able to use all my time up. That was Woody's. Brandon. Hyperlane memorandum, outstanding leave time below will not be used. Remaining 65.
no.
17 hours go unused at the end of the year.
Oh, is that what he said, Brandon?
I'll need the Board of Selectmen on December 4th. He plans to use 24.
He's already used some of it.
Oh yeah, he used
After
it.
that.
He used the first 24 in November
Correct. Yep,
since this letter, and he's
Yeah.
got 24. He's going to use in December,
yep,
so 17 hours will be left.
okay.
So his will be. Yeah, he's got 41 left here. So 24 more he's going to use. He'll be left with 17. Outstanding leave. I currently have 43 hours vacation, 16 personal time. Time will allow. I attempt to take 24 hours of vacation during the week of Christmas. This is for Lean. So Lean has outstanding 43 for vacation and earned personal days 2 hours,
2 days,
2 days.
yeah.
Oh, you did put
16 hours?
personal days, 2 hours remaining.
No,
Aye.
did I must miss the number, should have been 16.
Yeah, because you did put 2 hours, so you want to fix that to days, or 16 hours.
Yeah.
So I'll just put a 16 hours.
Yeah.
Just handwrite it in here so we don't forget it. And you've got a lien slip here to sign.
I just want to point out that a lot of times when I request vacation leave, if something comes up and I end up working with standard 45 hours, which runs into my personal time, so if I run into any of that 24 hours, I won't be using it as vacation time because I'll be working, but I would like to try to take that week off, part of it.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the, 4 employees' requests for, vacation, personal time, and comp time to be paid out at the end of the year per their requests. Keep it simple.
Second, but I have a question.
Go ahead.
If you like, you do personnel issues, I can leave the room.
No, this is public.
Yeah. Do we ever approve carryover?
By exception.
We have,
Well, I'm saying, there's no request for carryover?
correct, yeah.
What happens, like, say Woody has the comp time plus his vacation, if they can't use it this year and you carry it over to next year, you're talking 6, 7 weeks, it definitely can't get to it with all the new employees and
Yep.
it's just tough doing the carryover because the people that would be carrying over have lots of weeks. I didn't realize Brandon had so much. Would we give him a couple weeks to start?
Yeah.
I didn't
think we did.
remember, I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, motion's been made.
Any other discussion?
It's gotta be
So,
seconded first.
I seconded it.
there's no,
Before I discussed.
none,
Okay.
what's gonna be remaining that people will be carrying over, anything?
Nothing.
What about comp?
PD's already responded to everyone that's.
They
in their
requested, that's comp, vacation, and sick
To
time,
be paid out?
all paid out.
Personal time, yeah.
How's it impact the budget? Is it
There's
budget
usually
killer?
no-
Who, the PD?
No,
no?
PD's is using theirs up by the end of the year,
Oh.
because you might see something with Brian Tyler, but he's taking the week of Christmas off. There's 6 hours for
Okay, so there's nothing
absenteeism.
coming from there.
Only ones requested are the ones in yellow,
Yep.
Yeah,
And if they come in tomorrow, it's too late.
and they're all attached to behind there, and I read them all.
Does that follow directions from the town administrator?
yeah.
Okay, motion's been made, the motion's been seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye.
What's your, what was your hesitation?
I don't know,
He
I,
wants to stay past 10.
no, I just had, I don't like, comp time has always been a pain in the rear end to me. I hate comp time. I feel like we shouldn't even be giving out comp time. You either take vacation or whatever,
Listen, we just did it again
I know.
Yeah.
with our holidays. So now instead of holidays, we're gonna have more comp time added to it. That's why I
But they
was,
can't accrue more than 40 hours, and it was a perk for the new hires, which we've just adjusted to 2 weeks.
Right.
your
Wait a minute,
vacation,
wait a minute, you're talking two separate things.
No, it's, he's
You just said adding a week onto,
New hires,
that's vacation.
vacation,
You're talking about something else.
no? I'm saying the way you're running your vacation now is gonna be used like it's comp time. You're gonna add up these vacation days and use them
Oh.
on one day
oh,
off.
you were
Like,
referring to
oh.
the new changes.
so
Okay.
when he's saying he hates comp time, I'm saying we just multiplied it by the way you're gonna do vacation now.
no, the thing is,
No,
they have to
not at
use it or
No,
lose it.
It's accrued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't have it until,
No,
Negative Nelly here.
I believe comp time is subject to the labor laws,
yeah.
where
Yeah, so-
vacation time is not.
Can you just tell, comp time?
I'm gonna hold my thought.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it. I have no, I don't wanna belabor this. Let's
Sure.
get it moving. But the thing is, comp time has always been a problem in the sense
Okay.
that, people like to carry it forward to the following year, and we stop that.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And, I think the wait to,
I'd like to have more discussion
yeah,
with
in
you
other
on
words,
that.
okay, I.
Cause I've never,
Comp time, because I worked, when do you give me an example when someone get comp time?
it's overtime.
Overtime.
Overtime is calculated to comp time.
I would
But-
rather pay someone overtime than pay comp time.
Well, the police department has a policy, you cannot accrue any comp time after a certain day of the year, which is November 1st, October 1st. After that date, none of his officers they get paid their overtime. There's no accrual at that point.
is comp time at 1 times?
And a half, one.
Oh, it is 1.5.
Yeah, it's
Oh, so
the
they get the
overtime
full,
rate.
so it's not like the town's benefiting.
No,
No,
the town benefits
no.
nothing.
No,
And the thing is,
but if they have 2 hours overtime, they'll get the equivalent of the hours accrued.
it's just
At straight time.
rather get it done.
It only
let the book-
works if the town does not have to pay out the comp time in monies. It allows the person to take time off
Yeah,
that he's already earned.
Right.
So
By-
if you're paying
by
it out at
department.
the end of the year, it's still subject to tax match and so on.
Right,
Yeah.
but the Department of Labor requires that you have to pay that out. That's-
Right, right. But we're fine, I'm fine. It just goes back to like, we used to have people carry over comp time from
You
year
have
to
a
year.
philosophical difficulty accepting comp time.
Yes,
Do your job in the time allotted, or take your vacation and
or get paid overtime right then and there.
Yeah, especially, I mean, comp time for this is basically generated from overtime that they don't take in pay.
Correct, originally.
But why are they not taking it in pay? Why would you not want, why would you not?
All
want
this is doing, isn't this just deferring the pay until the end of the year?
Yes, it is.
What for?
Well, I guess it could be, so if they end up working, if they end up not taking the time off, or they do take the time off.
Right.
Then you don't have to pay them
That's right.
for it.
The benefit was
So
for
it
the,
potentially benefits the town if they use the time.
yes,
Right,
that-
Otherwise, it actually just pushes the payment till the end of the year instead of being
Yeah.
spread out.
true,
Correct.
all right. So it's a zero-sum game for the town.
I think it is,
Yeah.
if I'm understanding it correctly.
yeah.
So, Lean, I want you to take all your comp time.
I don't
And time
get-
off.
I don't get comp.
I know, it's your salary.
I'm salary.
We eliminate comp time by making everyone's salary.
Okay,
We should skip the personnel, seeing as the
I agree,
time.
I agree.
I do have one more.
this
thing.
leave.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
skip
put it in the
that.
file. I thought it was pretty well fine tuned though.
We're about 99% there.
We do have to just make that one decision on the yellow section of the part-time,
We can do that now if you want, I have no problem with that. You wanna read it?
Tell
Dave?
me what it was on the yellow section. Not highlighted on mine.
it is highlighted.
25 hours.
So it
It's the
basically
highlight.
Made
provides,
three categories, right?
it provides a third tier for part-timers instead of the existing two tiers. So effectively, what I'm saying is that a part-timer that works approximately 10 hours a week gets 25% of the benefit. Someone who works 20 hours a week, which is half of a full-timer, would get 50% of the benefit. And someone who works 30 hours would get 75% of the holiday benefit. It's just adding that extra
Tier.
tier. And I use the original 16 hours as the transition from tier 1 to tier 2, and then I've added 25 hours.
Less than 16 hours per week
Yep, so that
16
doesn't
hours
change
a
from
week.
what it is now.
or
Yep.
more per week. 16 hours or more per week. 25 hours or more per week.
It just
Get 2
stratifies
hours,
it.
4 hours, and 6 hours.
It does. If we approve the 25 hours or
So you've
more,
added the 6 hours. You went up by 2 more hours on that one.
correct.
Because they're working close to full-time.
And a lot, like this would,
Which is gonna be all of our transfer station
it would be the transfer
part-timers.
folks, yeah.
And it'll be Linda.
And our office, Jim,
Joe-
and Joe
Hope.
Gray,
They're 24 hours
25 and a half,
and a half, oh.
yeah.
Did the office girls talk you into this?
No, this had nothing, this was,
Who did it?
nobody.
It was all, the town was
It-
all
it was-
here.
Come
It was-
on, Dana.
No, it was me. I'm like, it makes sense for, especially the transfer folks at 30 and 32 hours or whatever.
They're so close to full-time.
Yeah, that they should get 75% of the benefit.
Make a motion.
Okay.
Okay, so I am gonna change that 16, it's instead of saying or more, it's gonna be 16 to 24, or to
Okay.
24.99.
Say it in your motion. Rock and roll.
Well, I'm not gonna read this whole thing in the motion.
Okay, but you did, because it should be put in the motion. But,
Read the whole thing?
well, I'll
As
amended.
amended.
As amended.
As written on the sheet is what you can say, and it'll make sure that the minutes reflect
With the
what's
amendment.
there. And I will give that to Jennifer to transcribe.
Okay. All right,
Just
so we
gonna
got,
read the heading on it.
yeah, so we got two motions. The first will be for the revised policy for part-time employee PTO accrual. We'll be transitioning from part-time holiday pay and replace it with paid time off accrual, PTO accrual. And we will be adding a tier for the 25 hours or more per week which would,
You can reference version,
yeah, this is version 5 of of the part-time holiday policy.
yeah,
Yep.
so that's a motion.
And it, yeah, and it is adding the third tier for employees that work 25 hours or more per week. And give them 75% of the benefit.
Okay, motion's been
That's
made,
motion made.
I second that.
motion's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Okay.
I liked it simple. But we don't always have to agree, so
Yeah.
motion passes.
Yep, okay.
Okay, next one.
Okay, the next one, is a motion on the revised vacation leave policy. The document is referred to as version 6. This will be converting from a bulk load of vacation on January 1st to an accrual method for full-time employees. And vacation time will be accrued in hours during each month based upon the employee's continuous length of service. The accrual schedule is here. We are adding a benefit for first-year employees that they will immediately accrue at the rate of 2 weeks per year. And there are the other tiers will remain the same, so there's a 2-week per year tier, a 3-week per year tier for years 5 through 9, and a 4-week per year tier for 10th year and beyond.
Motion's been made,
That's the motion.
I'll second the motion.
And I want to, in discussion, I would say thank you for doing it, it's a great policy. I really like it.
I think it's a solid policy also.
Motion been made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you an aye?
Yep. I'll give you one out of 2 tonight.
Okay.
I'm not in love with it, but I gave you an aye.
Well, my concerns were addressed. I mean, if someone wants to take early, like a vacation early, there's a methodology
What
for
I'll
making
do
it
is
happen.
give-
Yeah, I'm just worried about how our
Yeah.
employees
I think
perceive these.
exactly
I know that we're
what
helping them, but they,
Well, I know what you said
Yeah.
about the transfer, I mean, the
Yep.
yeah,
highway garage, but
it's just how the
And
people perceive it.
I gave you the original Word file on these too.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I think they asked to sit on this for a minute, so I'm gonna put it back in their file. That's on the boot thing.
Oh, okay.
And then, what do I have here? Mailbox?
Very little. Can I,
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
Let me just give it to you quick, okay? Review quote from Irish Electric to install 2 20-amp exterior outlets on the town hall library was $11.93 even. Material, 2 dedicated circuits with the breakers. One on the south and one on the north side of the building with the weatherproof boxes.
Are these dual outlets?
They're dual outlets.
A 2-banger,
Yeah,
up and down?
Weatherproof.
Not a 4.
weatherproofed with the closure covers with the 20-amp breakers, which a 20-amp breaker itself is pretty expensive nowadays.
The breaker's not, but the wiring to support.
the labor,
Even this breaker is
Probably a GFI breaker,
20-amp breaker
exterior.
Really?
G5, yeah.
Exterior.
on square D.
When you say an exterior breaker, it's not at the,
It will be a GFI breaker, which is more money,
okay,
because it's in a wet environment, potentially wet environment.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it seems a little steeper than I had thought, but they've always been the best price for everybody we've ever gotten, so I'm gonna,
I think a lot of, this is where I think the money to run, whatever it is,
the wire,
you know, a 10 or a 12 gauge.
12 gauge for 20 amp.
yeah. it's gonna be 12.
Over whatever the length is though, sometimes if it's
If
over
they're
a certain
100
length, you
feet,
gotta
they
go
may
to
have
10,
go
right?
Yeah.
10,
They did go into the basement,
Or they'll
looked
just
where
do
the
a
panels
socket.
were, looked at the access
They
to,
installed it.
yeah.
So, yeah, they're the ones that did the contracting of the panel, I'm good with that, so I'd like to motion to accept that bid. Anybody want to second
I'll
it?
second that.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Received from County of Merrimack Commissioners proposed budget for 2026.
Denied.
Just an FYI. It's there for your pleasure in reading, if you
All
so
right, that's
choose.
it for there, so we're gonna get out of, mailbox items. Anybody from the public have a comment?
Nothing here?
Okay, mailbox is done, public comment is done. I'm gonna bring it back to the,
If we have 2 minutes to look at that list, I would like the board to decide on a
Okay.
dedication of the town report.
all
I
right.
can shut this off?
Does this have to be non-public?
Yeah.
make a
10,
motion.
14.
Do you want anything else in?
I just want to say, I just thought the Selectmen's representatives of the Energy Committee conducted a very good public hearing on Monday concerning the electric power rates.
That's right.
The only other thing I wanted to put in, Dana, more homework for you, solar panel repairs.
Okay, yep,
Can you follow up on them, have them check out for the first of the year?
yep.
So see if we're gonna have an outside vendor repair them or whatnot.
Did you get anything in the mail yet? I have not.
I have not. No,
Somebody
I-
set my alarm and I gotta go shut it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's still running, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I actually sent them something today saying, that, they need to answer us in terms of whether there was a mistake at the supplier not getting those mailings out, or whether the post office. And in any case, I think new mailings need to go out. So I just said that, and they're addressing it right now. There's actually an indication that potentially the supplier made a mistake. I don't know what the mistake is,
Went to a different town,
who knows?
Durham instead of
Or
Dunbarton.
someone didn't bring them to the post office, I don't know.
It's sitting in someone's trunk.
I don't wanna make
no, but the
allegations on
thing
the,
is,
on the
we-
public record, but
We just have to have the,
there's I said, that's our biggest issue right now. The town generally is in favor of this, but they were like, where's my mailings?
right.
And,
Okay.
and I need to
Anything
address.
else from the other selectmen?
No, that was the-
That?
I just wanted to say the building hire started, the building department hire started this week on December 1st, and is actively working with Donna,
That's great.
on our transition.
And she's very excited about the learning.
Yeah.
So
She seemed,
keep our
yeah,
fingers-
so far so good.
yeah.
Okay, that being said, we're gonna go to a non-public per RSA 91-A, :3, Roman numeral 2, paragraph
Look that up.